What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, everybody's doing good. Another happy Saturday to everyone. Uh, Weather is real nice, man. I mean, I'm like, phew, what am I doing inside? Yeah, it's nice out there. Nice little crisp breeze, and it's not like too crazy humid. You adjust this a little bit, a little lighter. There you go. Yeah, man. So hopefully everybody's doing good. JJ, I see you. Salute. Appreciate you for being here and rocking as always. Let me see. Let me do what I got to do here. Got to start the day off right. You see it. You know what it is. Got to have the morning cup of Joe or Joanne. Obviously, I'm doing the iced coffee, man, because it's still nice. So I'm gonna rock the iced coffee until I can't rock it no more. Plus, it's pumpkin season. I don't know how a lot of people feel about pumpkin flavor, but I'm a big fan. And I like it because it only forces me to do it during the season. Once the season's over, I'm done with it. So hopefully everybody's doing okay. Let's see here. Knicks fans, Brazil. What's going on, Victor? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you. Rich boy in the building. What's going on? Let me see here. I gotta have them take a look at this, man. This signal strength is just crazy, bro. I was gonna call them a little while ago. I said, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do it because who knows what they're gonna do. They might mess things up. At least let me get through the show. Make things worse, you know what I mean? So yeah, it is what it is, man. These World of Hoops in the building. Peace and prosperity to the chat. Peace and prosperity to you, my brother. Let's see. I was just watching the movie Heat. Well, not all of it. It was just on, so I put it on while I was eating my breakfast. I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but it's an interesting movie. It's not as good as I thought it was back in the day. When you first see it, it's incredible seeing Al Pacino and Robert De Niro on screen at the same time, and then they have that what supposedly iconic meeting in the diner where they both are talking to each other in their own swag. You know what? Like, I won't hesitate to do this, and the other one's like, yeah, you know how it is. So yeah, it was really, I thought an iconic moment. When you go back and look at the movie now, you see a lot of holes in it. It's not as good as you once thought. The nostalgia has worn off. But at that time, man, that movie Heat was fantastic. I remember I watched it. I liked that movie Heat from the back in the day, from the point of watching it, and so much that when I first saw it, I had it on, you know how it is, bootleggers, they sell the bootleg DVDs. So you got the bootleg DVD that is somewhat a decent picture, but it's not really. And you got the sound of the audience and everybody watching it. Let me tell you, I enjoy watching that movie on bootleg more than I enjoy watching it regular, like I'm watching on TV, because that experience of watching the movie come out in the movie theaters and seeing how the crowd reacts, when Pacino first comes on screen, when De Niro first comes on screen, then when the actual bank robbery happens, and just all the drama with it and how they're getting away at that moment, and the crowd is clapping. But nothing topped when Pacino and De Niro finally get to sit down with each other at that diner. Man, the movie theater was clapping. It made me want to watch the movie even more. So I enjoy that. So I got that still, and I sometimes once in a blue I get bored and I'll turn it on and watch it that way. Even though the picture is horrible, the sound quality and the fact of the nostalgia that it brings back listening to the crowd makes it all worth it for me. So I don't know how y'all feel about movies. Like sometimes I would love to watch you know, every so often, like blockbuster movies that we like the, you know, for the, if you're a Marvel fan, like the Endgame or Infinity War, like being able to watch the movie with the beautiful 4K picture or whatever, but also having sometimes to be able to hear the audio of the crowd and the audience reactions to certain things. It just, to me, that's something they need to figure out a way to do, but at high quality. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, because the movie experience, I mean, some people I know want to hear it just as is, but after the movie's been out forever, that's something I think they should offer. They should offer in a DVD package, being able to get that great picturesque quality and then have that audio from the movie theater, but enhanced as best as you can to really get that, you know, opening day experience. All right. I've said enough about that, but I think that would be a dope idea. So if any of y'all are creative out there and y'all want to get behind something, think about that. Yeah, man. Salute to everybody. Cash out James in the gold, all in my, you know what I'm saying. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you. The new Knicks, the organic podcast. What's going on? Appreciate you. Good to see you, man. Francisco Carrillo in the building. What's going on? He said, Buenas, ¿cómo está? Bien. ¿Y tú? That's about all I got from 11th grade Spanish. This is what it is. You would think I know more about Spanish since my wife is of Latin descent. But hey, it is what it is. I can tell you everything about the food. I just can't say it in the right language. All right. Let me put this out there. Hey. Yeah, I used to think I was hot stuff back in the day when I was taking French class in high school. Yeah, parlez-vous français? Ah, yes. Je m'appelle Rome. That was it. Then I ran into somebody who actually could speak French, and they messed up my moment. Like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right, I don't know what you're saying. The moment is over. I'm gonna star this, Francisco, because you know what? You always talk about this. And the funny thing is, after every time you bring it up, I say I'm gonna address it, and I realize that I've never addressed it. So I don't know. To me, it's funny, man. I'm sorry, bro. I think it's hilarious because all this time I was like, damn, he's been saying this forever, and I've highlighted it, and we still never really addressed it. So hopefully today we will get a chance to address it, but you're going to have to elaborate on exactly what you mean by it, okay? So think about that, Francisco. Ashley Inc. in the building. What's good? Salute. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here this morning and rocking with me. Let's see here. I'm loving it. All right. So without further ado, let's get it cracking, man. Let me get my guy, D's World of Hoops, up in here.
Yo, what's good?
What's happening, Captain?
Fucking tired, bro. Rough night last night.
You know I hear you, brother. I went to bed at, I think, 3:30, and, you know, yeah. Nice. But I'm kind of, I don't know why I keep doing it to myself, but I do keep doing it. So it is what it is.
You got to do what you got to do. I think you're a nocturnal creature. From what you
I might be. I don't want to be, though. I really don't. If I could stop, please help me. Salute to my guy, Jose Gabriel, in the building. One part of the Tres Mascarenitos. What's happening, brother? Salute to Judah, my rightness. What's going on, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. You know what? This might be a really good time to pay some fake bills. You know how people in the studios and ESPN and stuff like that. Yeah, it's time to play bills. Let's get to a commercial. Yeah, no, we're going to go to the intro. Then we're not paying any bills because we don't get paid for the intro. That sounds good to me. Anyway, we'll be right back after this. All right. And we are back, people. Yeah, man. So salute to Debo Ismail. Appreciate you. Good to see you.
Good.
Kareem Grant is in the building. Hold on. Hold the horse. Let's go. What's good, twin? Appreciate you. All right. So listen, I already got a show planned. Obviously, we have topics to discuss and cover, but I want to start off the bat with my man Francisco Carrillo's point, and it's probably something that is a little bit more in depth because I need. So, Francisco, listen. If you want to elaborate a little bit more on what you're trying to say by it, because like I said, this is something you brought up many different times. So Francisco Carrillo says, just waiting to talk about earning picks. So when you say earning picks, if you could elaborate, Francisco, that'd be great. I'm going to assume, because I'm really trying to read into it, I don't know exactly what you're trying to say. Maybe you're trying to say something different. Are you referencing us tanking to get in a better position to get quality draft picks, or are you trying to say something else by it? If you could put that in the chat, that'd be great, because I do want to talk about the topic, because like I said, you've been putting it out there for quite some time. So I'll give you a little time to put that in the chat if you could, or else not, then I'm not going to go on a tangent about something and I don't know exactly what you're trying to say. So if you could put that in the chat, and while you're doing that, I'm just going to, see how D's doing. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good here. I had to go inside the wardrobe and change up the get real quick. I was Clark Kent before. Now I'm Superman.
Nice. Let me see. Say something, D.
Yeah, yo.
There we go. Good,
There.
got you. Wanted to make sure I was getting my levels up a little higher, because you go the wrong way, then I'm like, D, what'd you say? Okay, good job. So see, Francisco, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe you stepped away and then you put the thing out there. I asked you to elaborate, and you're not around to elaborate. How am I supposed to know what to talk about? I'm a star. It starts, so I'll come back to it. If you pop in and say what you got to say, that'll help me, because like I said, I don't want to talk about something and I'm wrong, thinking that I know what you're referring to. Salute to Parrish Duggar.
It's good, Parrish.
He said, hearing good Knicks in-house news that Cam is looking great. Yes, and we will talk about that a little bit. Because, when I saw Cam the other day, I really felt, I should only be so lucky to be a fly on the wall. Deron Wayne in the building. Salute, man. Salute. Appreciate you. Keyshawn is here. Deron. Appreciate you, Keyshawn. Yeah. All right. So let's get right into it, man. First off, now I'll be honest. Maybe you saw it, D, or read the article. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't really read too much of the actual article or what was said by Mark Berman. I just read little snippets and stuff that went around the internet, or that I may have seen third party. I know that's not good, right? But I'll be honest with you. As much as there's a need for Mark Berman, and I really like to see what he says, sometimes, there's moments where I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go down this rabbit hole with Berman at this moment. So I'm like, I don't always see
Good
everything
decision.
that I should see. Yeah. I don't always see what I should see, I guess. I don't know. But and shout out to Sango Waldron and Infamous New King. Appreciate you guys for being here. Okay, but there might be some truth to this point. Apparently a prevailing theme, a couple different people, and one coach in particular. Coach obviously remains anonymous, and Berman reported on this, had mentioned that Leon Rose delegates too much. And there are a lot of different entities in the Knicks front office. Now, and this is interesting when you think about it, because I really didn't think about it too much, man. Other front offices, of course, there's different entities in every front office, but the way the Knicks do it, it's like all these people have prominent roles or are doing something that needs to be spoken about. And I don't follow other teams other than my own. So it's interesting to see that. I think when he says that point, he could be right, because I mean, we're hearing about Leon Rose, obviously Tom Thibodeau, fine. We're also hearing about, Gerson Rosas was doing the negotiation for the Jazz. You get Worldwide West speaking up and talking about stuff. He's not doing anything, so I don't know why he's speaking up. You know what I mean? Scott Perry is a consultant and who has been an integral part of the Knick unit. Yet now that Leon's here, we don't hear anything from Scott Perry, but he's another person that exists. And it's all very interesting. And I wonder if, like, Scott Perry, who's the most interesting part to me, is so silent and doesn't say anything. And it kind of makes you wonder if he's doing the most. Like, he's so quiet because Leon's got him doing all the work behind the scenes that Leon's
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I think it's interesting. But I will say, though,
so Scott Perry is the paper boy.
I feel like,
get the coffee, crazy. Perry.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, man, I do think that there may be some truth to that, and it does lend to his personality, and it's a good point of reference because he doesn't really defend himself. Leon Rose seems like someone who shies away from the media. So if you want to create a narrative about him, even if it's true or not, he's a good person, a good candidate, because he don't come out and say nothing adversely to it. So I don't know, bro. What do you think about that? You think maybe, Leon's the chef, but there's too many cooks in the kitchen?
Well, I'm kind of prepared for this because when I saw the article, there was a lot of misconceptions in it. And that people could be really easily astray. So we've been known that there's not like a firm hierarchy there, right? And you notice when I critique the front office, I never just say Leon Rose. I say the front office, because they all embody it. They all have different roles. They all have different functions and objectives. So I have this article here, right? So I have the initial article, right? RealGM.com. I'll put it in the chat right now, right? And there was something very interesting that was said on it that I think is very important to do when you critique a front office. Right? I won't be too long-winded.
I know.
So that's the first one, right? I just put it in the chat right now. So there was an article that was written by John Hollinger. For people that don't know who John Hollinger is, I'll be very quick. He was part of the front office in the Memphis Grizzlies during, I think it was like 2010 to like 2017 or something like that, right? So he had an article. It's actually on The Athletic, right? And it talks about, he goes, the GM of a team doesn't work on trades with all 29 of the other GMs. What they do is break up the job amongst 3 to 5 assistant GMs, where each one keeps in contact with assistant GMs from 8 to 10 other teams. Based on their relationships, they may discuss dozens of potential deals before 1 or 2 rise up to the level where it could happen. You see? So you can find that on the article towards the comments, because one of the comments left it like that, and it was quoted. I actually saw the article myself. It's just I don't have The Athletic, so I wasn't able to share, but I was able to catch what I needed to catch. So it's never just Leon Rose talking to 30 other teams. They may break that up. Scott Perry speaks to this. Leon speaks to that. Gerson speaks to that. And then they collaborate and they say, okay, this is what we're going to do. So that was a misconception that I think a lot of people had. That's why when I was seeing in the chat that, the people make it clear that Gerson Rosas was taking care of the trade negotiations. Well, I mean, that's what he's there for, bro. He came on as a consultant, right? I don't know why they termed it that way. They should have just said in the front office. And that's that. So that there's another article that I have real quick. Let me send this real quick. So this article is written by, I'm going to send it here. It's written by Mike Zarin, the Celtics Assistant Executive Director of Basketball Operations. So in that article, he breaks down how all these trades happens and stuff like that, and the different things that go into it, right? So I'm trying to get what he said here at the end. He said that, so that's how a trade happens, of course. In addition to all this stuff, there are negotiations involved in setting up a deal. Each team is constantly having eternal discussions between owners, the GM, finance people, lawyers, coaches, scouts, and even sometimes players that are involved in any potential deal. You see? So there's a whole thing that comes with this. So there's a lot of moving pieces as to maybe how 2K, for example, kind of brings you out to what it looks like. I don't think it's that at all. Actually, I know it's not that at all. So to answer your question now, right? Is there too many chefs? I think
too many cooks, because Leon is the chef of the future.
But have we talked about that? Like, Leon is a guy that doesn't seem like he pushes the pedal to the metal. He did right. So I think I could say chef. Is there not enough? Because I don't think he's a chef. I would never give him the name Don. He hasn't proved nothing to me. So now I guess the question becomes now, because your question is, he's chef, there's cooks, right? Is he even a chef? I don't know yet. I haven't seen that. I got you, Cam Reddish, Tom Thibodeau. Okay, that's cool. And then play him for like a good 10, 15 games. You know what I mean? Alec Burke playing the point guard to the 77th game, 78th game, and there was no mandate that came upstairs and said, Tom, we're done. Put the kids in. So I wonder about that, right? But it's normal for people to have dividing functions. Or, I mean, my bad, not divided, but like, multiple types of functions within the organization, and that's how they work that. I guess the question is, for me, is Leon, does he have the balls? I don't think he has them, personally. But does he have the balls in order to say, because a good leader delegates. A good leader understands the strengths and weaknesses of what they have there, and they know how to put them into places in order for them to succeed, as for the team to succeed. He hasn't shown me that yet. So I don't know. That's the way I'm thinking about it, Ron. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, I understand. I think that in the way you answered it, for some people, they may be looking for more, but you got to think about who you're talking about. So I think that what Berman wrote about, or what was said by some anonymous coach in the NBA, is true. There might be too many cooks in the kitchen, but you're dealing with Leon Rose, a professional provocateur of management. He had a management agency. That was his role. Sorry. For whatever reason, I don't know. These headphones cycle sometimes and the power goes off. I don't know. I don't like it. Anyway, yeah, that is his role. And the Knicks tried. See, that this is what you have to give the credit to the Knicks organization about. I know we're not happy with a lot of stuff that goes on. There's still some things that are very iffy, right? But and I think someone said it. I think Cash Out James said it, and I kind of tend to agree. Maybe way back 20, 30 years ago, maybe we had a situation where the front office was really good, but he stated this is the best front office we've had in years, and that is true. That doesn't mean they get everything right or they're perfect. Obviously, they make a lot of mistakes and they do some things that are really good that we're like, okay, they should do this. This is good. Then they do some things that'll make you scratch your head. But as far as a positive and a negative, like a balance, they've been pretty good. Front offices before, all we can point to is the negative. I can't see the positive. So that may be true, Cash Out James. And so the reason why I'm saying this is because I think that the Knicks know really well who they bring into the organization, and they know the strengths and they know what may be deemed as weaknesses. So when they brought in a guy like Leon Rose, who we know is he's a really good businessman in what he does, but that doesn't mean he knows anything about basketball operations and knowing how to run things. They said, listen, we'll bring him in. He's a smart mind. He knows how moves should be made. He may not know the best way to orchestrate these moves. Let's retain Scott Perry. Obviously World Wide West and him are a package deal, so they're both coming in here. And then at some point, maybe throughout the season, James Dolan or whoever consults James Dolan was saying, I don't know about this move, what we did here. I don't know about what we did there. We had a 4th seed Knicks team that played really good defense. We decided to give up 2 of our best perimeter defenders, and we brought in more scoring, but the scoring hasn't really worked out. That's a little bit of a questionable move. This season has been lackluster. Yeah, I heard about this guy who looks like he's having his own personal troubles in Minnesota, but he is pretty good at this and this. Why don't we try to bring him in as a consultant? So then you get Gerson Rosas. So at some point, now that's another piece that you're bringing in, but Gerson is only brought in because that's the difference. And I think most people can see that. When you start with a regime, you have a plan in place, you're already hiring who you think you need. If you make a hire mid-season, it's because something is not working or something is missing. So they brought in Gerson Rosas, who obviously has his own controversy going on. That's why he had to get out of Minnesota. And they brought him in right away because he fit a skill set or a need that the Knicks were lacking. Right? Mm-hmm. So, which
was what exactly?
That's the thing. We don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know if they felt like there was certain negotiation, certain things happening with regards to talent. Maybe they felt like the pursuit of getting somebody, because the whole thing was the Knicks were looking to try to acquire a piece or maybe 2 at the trade deadline to improve the team, and that didn't go well at all. What did we wind up with? Cam Reddish? Not that there's anything wrong with Cam Reddish, but I'm saying that was kind of like a came out of nowhere thing. It looks like a good move on paper at the time, but I don't think that that's maybe where the Knicks felt they were going to go. And I also think maybe Gerson, I don't know his experience with that. I would have to look at his history. Maybe he's, really good at helping with regards to the draft. Maybe there's certain aspects of that because the Knicks have been trying to improve in those aspects for years now. So maybe those 2 reasons were reasons to get him in here. And also the other thing is, the Knicks, this current Knicks regime is all about relationships. Leon Rose has him. World Wide West has him. Maybe Gerson, even say what you will about whatever happened in Minnesota, maybe he still has really good relationships around the league. He does. So
I'm sure Scott Perry does too.
Exactly. So maybe that's another reason why they felt the need to bring him in. So, and it's kind of in a way, it's a smart decision. You could bring somebody in who's kind of not doing great right now. So you bring him in on the cheap, get you in as a consultant. We won't give you that big cushy title and pay you all a whole bunch of money. We'll get you in on the cheap, but we got your mind here and we could use it. It's kind of slick.
That was a nice breakdown, right? At least your hypothesis was valid, without a doubt.
That's all I want, validity.
Is that, but I don't want people to misconstrue what I was trying to bring up. And that, because I see it in the comments, that, look, let's do it like this. Chronology, right? I love chronology. Year one, they come out the gate. They got very fortunate with a lot of things. Julius Randle blew up out of nowhere. The guys that they signed for the 1-year contracts played probably the better parts of their NBA career in that year with Noel and Burks and stuff like that, right? Then you go ahead, you make a move for Rose. He comes in. People thought Rose was done. Mm-hmm. And then he comes in, he right? So that was first year. You have a good run. You get the 4th seed. You get home court. You get smacked in the first round, right? I remember the thinking. It was like, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do and how they're going to build on this. Because it's something worth building on, because you were a possible lottery team that year. And then you come out to the 4th seed. What's going on? Okay, so there was holes that had to be plugged. Year 2. You didn't plug them. They thought they were going to plug them, but they didn't plug them. And as you mentioned before, Ron, they took away defensive perimeter defenders. Okay, that's big, especially how Tom Thibodeau runs his pick and roll defense. Right, everybody knows he's famous for ice. Okay, ice was around before that, but he kind of put it on the map and it became a standard. Right, so you take all those toys away that he has, that worked very well with him. Right, got him coach of the year. Right, but it all explodes. Right. Guys should have not been signed to what they were signed. There was premature signings. The Cam was kind of a mystery, because I'm thinking you're going to bring him in. He's looking at like 15, 20 minutes off the bat. And for that, it was just weird. So it looks kind of wasted right now, because I'm saying right now, I'm not saying at the end of the season. So, these things were happening in year 2. There were direction issues. They couldn't manage the team well. They paid Julius Randle bill. I think it was a cluster F. I really do. I think it was a monumental cluster F. So then it gets, okay, that's year 2. Year 3. You bring in Jalen. I'll cut it short. They did a great job, I thought. And I'm glad the fact that they didn't take Donovan Mitchell. So these are good things. I have to see what you are. I'm not going to go out and say you're the Don. They're doing good. I don't know. It's the same thing with RJ Barrett his 4th year. I don't know. I have to find out. I have to see what it is. That's my honest assessment on it. Now, if I was to be a betting man, they look confused, bro. There's still things. There's still pillars of things that I don't see, that I get confused. Okay, is Jalen a part of the development, or is he a part of a playoff push? And it looks like, by all measurements, it looks like they're going for a playoff push. And what they're going to try to do is eat their cake and get the young kids in there mixed in with that and have them develop with it. It usually doesn't work too much. Okay? NBA history says so, not me. But, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what they do. Hebrew had a video of stuff, and he was talking about, but we've been talking about this forever. And he called it the conundrum of Obi and Randle. It is a conundrum. It is the correct word. Because you got to play Obi, but you got to play Randle. You think Randle's going to be okay playing 27, 28 minutes? Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't. I don't want to hear that, yo. If we somehow get Russell Westbrook here, they just signed Dennis Schroeder. I don't see where Westbrook fits now. Go ahead and pick it up Dennis Schroeder for 1 year. So most likely he's gone. Let's just say, I'm just saying because it's been talked about. Let's say he goes to the Knicks. You believe Russell Westbrook's going to come off the bench and he's not going to play at least 25, 30 minutes a night? So this is why I say pick where you're going. You can't have the best of two. because you didn't properly structure it that way, and plus it don't work. NBA history says so, not me. So I'm all in for the front office to see what they do. I want championships, bro, and I want them sustainable, 7 to 10 years. I want a decade of this, bro. At least competing at that level.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a science to it. There are certain parts, and there's some parts that they've done right, and there's some parts that I don't see where they're going with, and I don't agree with it, and it looks wrong. So it's a way to it's a way to play a game, bro.
Nah, man, listen, you're not wrong about that. I can't argue that point. That's very true. Very true. Shout out to the chat once again. Salute to Mike Boy in the building.
What's good, Mike Boy?
What's good? What's good? Salute. S Brooklyn, I see you.
Good,
Bricks Nation.
Bricks.
Hard Will's in the building. Salute. Oh, speaking of that, Hard Will and Worldwide L got a popping show for the love of the game. You hear me say it all the time. If you haven't checked it out, check out For the Love of the Game. It's the number 4 OUR, love of the game. Check them out, man. Appreciate you guys doing that and showing them some love and some support. Last night they were rocking late. I tuned in. I was working on something, and I said, you know what? Let me see what's going on YouTube. And they were on late. So yeah, they're doing it. Wayne Peterson in the building.
It's good.
Mick Investment is here. What's good?
New guy?
Yeah, maybe. Mick,
There you
listen. Hey, I don't know if you've been here before, but if you haven't, welcome to the Still Knick fans family here. Thank you for tuning in and rocking with us. Excuse me. And interesting point you said there. You don't know why you guys take the COVID season so serious. I think he means fans in general too, because a lot of people, look at that season. But there was a lot going on there, and no fans, a lot of players in and out. Knicks caught a lot of breaks. There was a lot going on.
And people still put stock in the players today because of that season. So
true.
There's definitely some legs to that.
Yeah. So salute to you for that point, Mick Investment. Salute to Cormega is in the building. What's going on, bro? Wacko in Brooklyn is here. Appreciate you.
Oh, real quick, for Cormega, Orphan. Watch The Orphan. Great horror movie. Okay, sorry, because I was going to forget about that.
No, and you know what? Let me tell you something. Orphan is a good movie. I liked it. I thought it was done well. However, and this is, I don't even know if you guys know this. You know this Orphan 2?
Yeah, I was just starting to watch it last night, and then
I don't know how good it is. I was watching a little bit of it. My wife was watching it the other day. I was like, it's not like Orphan 1, but okay. I haven't seen the whole thing, so I'm just throwing that out there.
I liked where it was going in the beginning, but
you seem like a horror buff.
No, I'm a movie buff, but I love horror.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So let me see here. Oh, salute to OG Face 3 in the building. What's good?
It's good, OG.
He said we still need a star player, and that star is Russell Westbrook. Trade Cam Reddish and Evan Fournier for Russell Westbrook. Jalen Brunson played good with Luka Doncic, so I think he would be play great with Brody. Look, I'm gonna be honest.
Did he just compare Doncic to Westbrook?
I don't know, man. Look, if you look at what Russell Westbrook is doing in training and practice right now, man. But anyway, all right. That's not in the NBA game, but no defense is guarding him. Russell looks great in practice. I don't know about in a game. What I'm going to say here is if Russell Westbrook works on his stuff and takes things seriously, could he contribute to the Knicks? Yes, he can. We know what he does bring to the table, right? We know he's not a great shooter, but he can score, especially when he puts his mind to it. He takes smart shots. We know he can rebound. We know he can pass the ball. However, it still is. He's a guy who is in very good physical shape, and he likes to play and likes the ball, and he's going to command. It's one thing if you brought in Russell Westbrook and you could play him 15 to 20 minutes or something like that. No, Russell Westbrook is on the Knicks. He's playing like 30 minutes easy. Because that's what he's used to doing. Plus, Thibodeau is going to see him and say, "This guy. I mean, I know what he is, but I know he knows how to play ball. He's been here. He's been a a star type player. It's going to hurt the young guys once again. We already are looking at this team trying to figure out how can people play, which we'll get into a little bit more as we talk about Quickley and stuff like that. But like, I don't understand how we could bring Russell Westbrook here and it not hurt the team overall. It might be a little bit of a benefit because maybe he's a little, he's more talented than some of the guys. But in the end, how much better do we get? These guys that you want to see play don't get a chance to play. The same guys that don't get a chance to play because they're not playing, they're not improving. So then you're going to need them in certain situations, but they haven't got much better because they're not out there playing. So then when they get in these situations and Thibodeau trusts them, puts them in, and they mess up because they're not comfortable, it's a freaking process. It all looks bad, man. It's just a cycle. But I hear you. And look, I'm one of those who's on the side of, I wouldn't mind bringing Russell Westbrook in, but I don't care about playing him. I bench him. Or I, have him at home. Yeah, he got hurt. I don't know. He's working on his ankle.
Bad pinky.
Yeah, he got a surgery he needed to take care of. He put it off for a while, but we said go ahead and do it because we appreciate him. That's me, but I'm just saying. Anyway, in NYC, BBall 08 is in the building as well. What do you think about Russell Westbrook? That thought.
I think Russell is great for New York. The tenacity, the energy. We would love him. It's just it's the wrong time. If it was the first year of the rebuild or something like that would have been better. But we're trying. We have to mess around with these development toys. We can't leave them there collecting dust, or else you won't get anything for them because they're not playing. Brunson 35 plus. Russell, I think we were being nice with the 30 minutes.
I know.
Tommy Tibby though, he playing him 35, bro.
Facts, because I know Russell got that motor. He'll be out there. He'll be going. Not necessarily helping, but he'll be going. And I'm not saying Russell's a horrible player. Personally, I think he still has some game in him, but he also is going to be a nightmare at certain points. I don't know if I want to see that here. I'm just saying. Like I said, I'd bring him here to get some contracts out of here and then get that expiring off, but I wouldn't play him. But that's me.
Yeah. But you see, that's so bad because 7-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, broke the triple-double record, and he going to be on the bench at $47 million? No bueno, bro.
I know. But you know what? I would respect Leon if he did something like that. I mean, and I'm not saying he has to do that. I'm saying if he did that and stuck to it and didn't care what people thought. And at the end of the season, when you take that $47 million and put it towards a high quality valued player that can come in and help the Knicks right away, I look at it a certain way. Like, okay, listen, he took his lumps for the season, dealt with it, but it turned into something special. How you got to look at it. Sometimes you got to take a chance if you want to. Like, I don't know. Shout out to Mackay Hayes. First off, if this is your first time being here, because I don't necessarily remember your name, thank you for being here, rocking with us. And while you're here, let me just say this to everybody. Thank you guys, because still Knicks fans we're still on the journey. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We are very close, as you can see. We're at 1980. I don't know if that number's changed since I've been on, but we're getting there. We're 20 away. So thank you guys and appreciate you for being here and rocking with us.
And excellent first comment, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. If Westbrook had a D-Rose type role, it'd be cool, but that's not happening, and that is correct. And that's the part that we worry about, because he would come here and it would be like he's RJ. That's how Tibbs would be using him, and I don't think that's a good thing for this current Knicks team. Excuse me.
No way.
Yeah. So, what else What else was that I was looking at? I was just about to say, Francisco Carrillo. I don't know if you stepped away, but if you did step away, I was trying to get into your whole point about earning picks. So if you could elaborate in the chat once again, we can talk about it. But I need you to put in the chat exactly what you mean so that I can, I know we're not going the wrong way if we decide to talk about it. So thank you. Eric Surreal in the building. What's going on? Appreciate you, bro. East Blue Drew is here. What's good? My guy Ron Sarmiento in the building. All right, guys. So, excuse me, man. For whatever reason, some days, I don't know. I think when I sleep with the AC and it's freaking right, I wake up, I drink iced coffee, then I get all congested. It's not good, man. It's not good. Gotta do something about that. I need to drink hot tea. That's what it is. It's a lesson to everybody. Anyway, so let me just check something real quick because I want to make sure that I'm giving everybody the most up-to-date information because I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here.
Did you get Keith?
Oh, I did not get Keith.
Thank you,
Keith. Keith is in the building. What's going on, Keith Turner? Appreciate you, bro. Listen. It's not for lack of trying, man. I always want to, say what's up to Keith. Good dude. Did
you get Sanga?
Yes.
What's up, Sanga? Jude on my rightness? Yeah.
I did. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, so just to update, guys, that number, we're currently at 1982. So we're 18 away, guys. We got a little closer. Thank you for your support and helping to get us one step closer to our next milestone. Thank you, guys. All right. Boom. Hitting it with look at that update. Boom. Happens quick. Happens fast. Nice. All right. So yeah, so I think the whole thing is there's a lot of guys in place in the front office, but it all makes sense right now, and it's for good reason. That's what I think. Now excuse me. Hold on 1 second. Sometimes you need a real good one. All right. At some point, you hope that Leon, over time, gets a little bit bigger handle on things, and so less delegation happens. He can still delegate. Maybe that works, but even if he's aware of the systems better, like he knows a lot more, and it could be sometimes where you just want it to be where Leon is delegating something to somebody that he knows how to do. It's not like delegating to you because I don't know what I'm doing and you can do it. It's delegating because that's too much. You can do that. You handle that. And if you mess up, I know why you messed up and I know how to fix it, or I can tell you what to do not to mess up. That's where you want Leon Rose to go. I don't know if he's there yet because listen, let me tell you something, guys. We talk, it's very easy. We see the surface stuff. Being any person in a high role in any business is not easy. Being a CEO, a president of basketball operations, whatever it is not easy. Some of the things are no-brainers, so you say, how you can't do that, right? But there's so much that goes into it. So we just hope that Leon really gets the job, grasp it, and understands all the roles and everything that needs to be done going forward. That's what I would hope. King Poppy's in the building. What's good?
What's up, King Poppy?
Appreciate you. Okay, so now that that's been said, the Knicks did, make a signing, right? And I kind of, some people have mentioned it. It's kind of been swept under the rug because most likely he's going to the G League. But they did pick up DaQuan Jeffries, right? And DaQuan Jeffries is, an interesting player because he's someone who can play a little defense. He's aggressive, jumps in passing lane, stuff like that. I'm not going to say he's the greatest defender. What's interesting about is DaQuan Jeffries. He is, I think he was most recent with the Miami Heat G League team. If I'm not mistaken.
Not sure.
I could be wrong. Let me double check that. Let's see. DaQuan.
6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan. Shot well for the quarter three in the G League. 14, 15 guy on the team. Why not?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so the thing about his game is that he's very, very explosive. He will dunk on you at a moment's notice. So, you know how Knicks seem to be trending towards athleticism these days. So he's just another athletic player that, you know, they can give a shot in the G League, help fill out that roster. And maybe if they need a little help on the big club, injuries happen, he's someone that, you know, might be someone you bring up. Okay, so Jeffrey spent parts of the last 3 seasons with the Kings, Rockets, and Grizzlies. Sorry, it was the Rockets. When I saw a red uniform, I thought it was the Rockets. I mean, the Miami Heat G League. It was the Rockets. Okay, so yeah, you know, he's getting signed to a training camp deal. Most likely, he's going to go to the G League, but you know, you never know. Maybe they'll keep him as the 15th man or something like that. You know, to fill out the roster. Like I said, in the summer league, he averaged 8.2 points, 4.2 rebounds, 1.4 assists in 5 games played. He shot 48% from the field and 46% from the 3-point line. That's a don't go crazy over that. We don't know how many shots he took in. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, all right. He's a player that you know, might be able to help in some capacity going forward. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Here's the question that I want to ask you, D, because I noticed, and I've been noticing, we commented on Julius Randle. We said that he looked really good. He slimmed down. We don't know exactly how he'll be used or what's the point of him slimming down in that fashion, but nevertheless, it's a good thing. It helps with his mobility. That probably helps with his body in general. And, you know, all around a good thing. I don't see a negative in it. But what I've noticed over time is that, and I'm just looking at all these different workout videos that Julius has been doing. Julius seems to be, at least this year, because he works out hard every year, but for whatever reason, this year it might be different to me. I don't know if I'm the only one who sees this. I feel like Julius is working on every single aspect of his game, and he's doing different things that maybe he hasn't done before. Not all, you know, not a whole bunch of different things, but I'm saying like working on his handle is what he should be doing. But he, you know, I feel like he's putting more emphasis on it and he's showing it because I don't see videos. Normally when I see Julius Randle summer workout videos and all that stuff, he's shooting, he's playing in pickup games, you know, he's working on Carmelo moves like the turnaround, the step back, stuff like that. Watching him show a dribble video of him working on his handle, working on a floater, 6'8" guy working on a floater. I mean, we talked about that before. I've never seen him do that before. I know that's new. And then I saw him do it in the pickup game. It's interesting to see him doing different things like that. It feels like he is trying to get better and bring something to the team this year. Do you feel that Julius is trying to turn the corner after what was deemed a very disappointing season last year?
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice. But yeah, this is his NBA career on the line, and not this year, but I mean like this contract. This contract's going to determine what is going to be Julius Randle's career, and he has to add the floater. He's shooting like a career low 60s at the rim, and for that position, that's not good at all. He has to get leaner and quicker because with him not finishing that well through contact, he's got to be able to beat him with speed. So he has to be faster. For him to get to his spots to be more effective on the perimeter, he is going to have to be faster, which is what he seems to be doing. If the ball handle gets tighter with the speed and stuff like that, yeah, I think Randle could definitely have a better season than he had last year by going by that metric. But I don't know, man. I get concerned, bro. I get so concerned with he comes out, he plays well. And I'm just saying, if he's playing at 23 points a game, right? Let's say he comes out roaring, bro. At his 23 points a game, 11 rebounds, 5 or 6 assists, and he's shooting decently, and we're playing 500 basketball, I just find it hard to believe that Julius Randle is not going to be playing 35 minutes a night, bro.
I hear you. So, in essence, what I think you're at the position, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're at the position where you know Julius is going to hopefully take a step in the right direction towards getting better. But in a way, you know that if he does come out and play better, it's maybe a bad thing for the Knicks team in general, because Tibbs is going to go right back to, riding the horse, and then it's going to be 2 seasons to go all over again. Is that fair?
Very. So it's like, that's why it's so important. That's why on the last show I made it a point to call out the front office about them being against talking to the media, or their fan base, right? Because it's like, because I don't know what you're doing. You're saying this, you're saying young guys, but I'm seeing things where it's going to be hard for the young guys to crack the rotations, because if Jalen is playing 35, if Barrett's playing 35, if Julius Randle's playing well and playing 35, we know the minutes are going to be split between Mitch and Isaiah. Where does that leave Cam? Where does that leave Obi? Where does that leave Quickley? Where does that leave Grimes? Derrick Rose, as of today, is still on this basketball team. Mm-hmm. Training camp starts, what's today? The 17th? It starts in almost 2 weeks, because it starts on the 30th. So obviously, this is what they're rolling with. And the only thing that I can see is possibly a Westbrook thing happening, because if they're feeling like this team could compete, then why not bring a former MVP that just had a bad season last season on an expiring contract? That if it doesn't work, you clear that $47 million, try to get something in free agency. Of course, historically, that hasn't gone well.
I see your point.
So if I knew the direction, I wouldn't have to do this. But I don't know, because you say this, but I'm seeing that.
Shout out to Jay Nicky on Twitter. Appreciate you. He put up this video of Julius working on his handles. Now, let me tell you, man, this looks really good. That dribble, as to Jay Nicky's point, it looks pretty snappy, looks pretty good. But, when you look at a dribble like this, understand, obviously, forget I don't have to tell you the obvious. It's practice, right? So, of course, but it's the other things. He's focused on it. He's not worrying about, somebody guarding him. He doesn't have 4 other teammates surrounding him. He doesn't have fans in the stands yelling at him or whatever, cheering for him. So to see this level of focus on the dribble and making sure he's got it together when he's going into a move, you can't say you're going to see it the same way in a game, because this is all you're focusing on. But it would be nice if Julius could start dribbling like this and getting that to go. And hey, I don't know what to say. I'd be very surprised. But I like that he's working on it, and that's the only way to get better. You got to work. So I give him credit for continuing to do the things that he needs to do. That's one thing you cannot say about Julius Randle, that he doesn't work on his game. He works on his game. It's what kind of crazy, and I think it's a little disappointing to a lot of Knicks fans who've watched him in his time here, when he is on the court and on the defensive side, he doesn't seem to work as hard as he does on the offensive side. So that is a big deal. Even though he plays good one-on-one defense at his position and stuff like that, I'm just talking in general, in team defense, we've seen Julius kind of lollygag down the court or watch somebody go past them, and not like this same work ethic. It's crazy. This guy is such a physical specimen. He works so hard. They say he's one of the people that is early in the gym, late to leave, goes on the road. He practices in other random gyms when other people are at dinner or relaxing and waiting for the game. He does all that, but then sometimes on the court, he takes moments off. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's it. That's an EQ thing, Ron. That's that's emotional, mental, spiritual makeup. And if you're trying to be the guy or a guy to be in a long-standing, sustainable, successful organization, you can't have attitudes like that.
Right. Yeah. So that's Julius working on his handles.
Put
go
out
ahead.
Angel real quick because Angel.
Got you.
Yeah. What's good, Angel?
Angel, salute, brother. He said, salute Ron and D amigos. Here a little late because here in Puerto Rico we are getting ready for a hurricane that's getting close and it's supposed to hit us during the afternoon and night. Oh man.
Yeah, I wanted to say be careful. To keep your children safe and your families and bunker down real hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope things go okay and that it clips you guys or breezes past and you don't get the full brunt of anything, because it's tough to say with these things. And this sucks, man, because that's one of those other things that always hits us. You kind of you move in life, but you kind of forget, like, this natural stuff always around this time of the year. Hurricanes are really big, happening in places like Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, places like Florida, and it's a tough time. And the really bad thing is in reference to Puerto Rico, and I say this because I grew up, my neighborhood is a melting pot of everything: Italians, African Americans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and so I've got a bunch of good, great friends that I've grown up with, and I've watched this over the years. And the worst thing about it is, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States; it's a Commonwealth, but it doesn't get the love and support that other places get. And this is why I really worry about the fact that another hurricane might be hitting right now, because if anything happens over there, that Puerto Rico is going to have to dig themselves out once again, and it's going to take so much more time because they don't get the assistance. So I'm hoping it passes you guys. Angels, stay up, man. Stay safe, stay blessed, take care of you and your family and your friends, and don't be you've seen enough, man. Don't be stubborn. If you can evacuate, if they tell you to do something just to move to a different space, do whatever you can, man. That's all I'm saying.
And let's give our blessings and prayers for his safety and his family's safety as well.
Definitely, bro. So there was Long Island Sound. There you go. I knew there was someone else I wanted to shout out. I was like, there was somebody I was thinking about, but and shout out to my guy Visions, appreciate you. And Rayology's in the building, appreciate you, brother. Hopefully you're doing good. And let's see. Okay, all right. And then I just want to get to the super chat. Thank you, NYC BBall 08. Appreciate you. Thank you. He said, forever. Let's go, Knicks.
Very nice.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, man. All I can say is that's it. Let me put that up while I'm talking about it, because someone said something in the chat. I think it was JJ. Yes, there you go. All I can say is exactly.
Immediately.
The Knicks might have messed up when they had a moment to do it before. And I know that was a tough time to do it. I understand. So I can't fault them for not doing it, because you didn't know. You thought, hey, listen, maybe Julius turned the corner. Like, maybe the Knicks lucked out. They gave him $18 million per 2-year deal. He had an incredible most improved player season. We got the 4th seed, went to the playoffs. Maybe we got one. You can understand the thinking. But at that time, Julius Randle's stock and his trade value was the highest it will ever be. And we could have got something really nice if we would have decided to trade him.
Young players.
So to answer your question, JJ, as much as I want to rock with Julius, I like the fact that he came here, and because I give credit to everybody who wants to be a Knick, because not that there's people who talk good game, but they don't really want to be a Knick. I appreciate him for doing that, but if he starts to ball out at the first moment that they get a really good offer, you gotta let him go. I'm sorry, you just gotta do it, because the Knicks have put themselves in that position. If the Knicks didn't have Obi, if the Knicks just had like some regular Joe Schmo power forward who can give you like 5 points, 3 rebounds, he's not going to really add anything, and Julius is it, then maybe you look at it differently. But when you got Obi waiting in the wings and you committed as a first-round draft pick, top 10,
Obi was plan A. Obi was plan A. If you have the chance to revisit history and have the opportunity to do it again, you go what you were supposed to do 2 years ago, trade his butt by the trading deadline. Point blank final.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, that's very true. Osaduke in the building. What's going on?
Let's go, also.
Salute to Kerry Cooper. Appreciate you, man. Salute. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. I don't want to say too much in reference to Julius. I think we said enough, because I really wish the guy the best, and I want him to do well while he's a Knick. But I'm a realist, and I think at this point we all need to say, look, wish Julius balls out so we can get something of value for him and take this team in a set direction that makes sense, because right now we're still all over the place. So yeah,
absolutely.
All right. So that being said, I think that another interesting topic that has come up, because it was mentioned that apparently Leon Rose, or the Knick front office, and Tom Thibodeau are looking to give Emmanuel Quickley more minutes. Yeah. Now, this is really interesting to me, guys. If you remember, if you looked at the shows in the past, we had talked about the roster construction, and we went down. And the funny thing was, when John and I first did it on Still Knick Fans Weekly on Mondays, it was like a shock, right? Because we started naming guys, and John was like, this guy. We went through the top 5. This is who do we think the projected starters are. Then we went through the bench. This guy. We went through 10 guys, and we didn't name Quickley yet. I was like, what? Because obviously we see Derrick Rose, a healthy Derrick Rose is playing. Mm-hmm. So we figure, because when Derrick Rose is healthy, as good as Quickley is starting to become, or as how he's improving, Derrick Rose is good, man. At least he's still playing good. So you think he's going to play, and I would think he gets the nod even before Quickley. It is what it is. Derrick Rose is a former MVP in this league, and he's Tom Thibodeau guy.
And he can still average 15 a game in his sweep.
Correct. So when you think about it like that, when I named everybody and we go through Jalen Brunson, let's just go with the generic right now. Jalen Brunson, Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. That's the 5. Most likely the 5 starters. It could change. We don't know, but let's say that. Then you come off the bench. Derrick Rose has usually been the first guy off the bench when he's healthy. So you go Derrick, you go Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Hartenstein. That's 10. Notice how there was no Emmanuel Quickley. Now, if we're talking about getting Emmanuel Quickley more minutes, where are they coming from? This is very interesting to me. So I don't know. And I didn't mention Jericho Sims yet. That would be 12. Like, oh boy. Anyway, what do you think about that, D? It's nice to say that we want to get Emmanuel Quickley more minutes, but at the expense of who?
Yeah. I love Rose. I really do. I respect him heavily. And, everything. We all know he's a top 5 point guard ever. If he had no injuries. I think we also know he would have at least won a championship without those injuries. And the fact that through all those injuries, to still play like the way he does at the age at which he's at is something that's admirable, But everything's about time and place. I got to see the young guys. I got to see Emmanuel Quickley. I have to see Quentin Grimes. And maybe even a little bit of Deuce. Even when he looks like a deer in headlights. But, I have to see Cam. I can't see Evan Fournier. I love Rose, but he has to understand that roads have to be paved, because roads are not paved right now. And there's no way that you could go ahead and try to do it playing Evan Fournier 30 minutes a night, Derrick Rose 25 minutes a night, Julius Randle 35. I don't think that's the way. So what's his name? It was just right in the chat. I saw it. Bozilla said, stop relying on the old vets that are good. Groom the young guys into leading roles. That I'm all in, bro. The question is, are they all in on that? And I get the feeling that it's a mix. So back to Quickley, right? Before I go on a tangent with the front office, I'm not happy with the front office personally. I like what they did, but there's still big questions. We talked about this, Ron. I was the one that came up to you and said, you know what's not a bad idea? Starting Emmanuel Quickley at the 2 guard.
Yeah.
And we went through the whole thing. What was it, like a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, we went through the whole thing about how his assist to turnover ratio is fantastic. And he really takes care of the basketball. Throughout Kentucky, he played that 2 or 3. He was attacking through the pin down. He was attacking closeouts. That was his game. First year, which we had a lot of hope for Emmanuel Quickley because we loved what he saw, he wasn't playing that point guard role that year, bro. Mm-hmm. He just wasn't. Even before Derrick Rose got there, he wasn't. And he had a good year. And there's numbers that went up, like his rebounding went up, his assists went up last year, stuff like that. But his shooting took a dip. His 3-point shooting took a dip. And he was around the same free throw percentage both years. So this is a good idea, I think. I don't know if the report is inquiring that he's going to start. So what would a larger role mean for Emmanuel Quickley? Because he did average 23 minutes a game last season.
Mm-hmm.
So how much bigger is it? And if it is, does it sound like a starting thing or does it sound like a 6-man thing? How is that working exactly? Because if you're expanding a bigger role on 23 minutes, we got to be looking somewhere between the range of 27 to 30.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Am I on point with that?
I agree.
Yeah. So
let's see. Shout out to Mozilla. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. I think, and some Knicks fans may not like what I'm about to say.
Oh.
I think that if the Knicks could just snap their fingers and make things how they want it right now, without acquiring more talent, like outside talent, I think the Knicks would love to have Emmanuel Quickley at the starting 2 guard and Quentin Grimes as the backup at the 2 guard and move on from Cam Reddish and Fournier. That's what I think at this very moment. I think they would love to do that, but they can't because it's not cut and dry. Fournier hasn't done anything right now for you. You can't release him. He's getting paid a good amount of money. You can't do that. And you can't just trade him for a bag of balls. He's a better talent than that. He is a value on a certain team, right? And he's also leading his team to the European finals, apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
Go Fournier. Let's go.
So, I mean, can you get a bad contract for him? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, isn't that interesting that Fournier, who it kind of shows you how comfortable or uncomfortable he is with his Knicks team, that Fournier is the leader of his European team. Imagine that. He's the vocal dude. He's the one in the locker room firing them up. Even after they escaped with a victory, a 1-point victory, he's the one telling them they got to play better. This is interesting to me, D. I know. I get it. I know who he is.
Ron wants Evan to play 30 minutes.
No, I don't. I'm just saying this is crazy to me. Isn't it interesting how you think about a player? Like, forget it. It doesn't affect his game. We know what his game is. He's limited. That's it. But I'm just talking about, we look at this Knicks team and we don't have leadership for the most part. There's not a lot of vocal people on the team. And Fournier is vocal as hell, but we didn't see that with the Knicks. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen in the locker room, but I kind of think that shows you the climate and the culture of this team, that Fournier wasn't even as comfortable to be himself, because this apparently, I've read other things. This is how Fournier is. He's a little bit of a pit bull. That's okay. Let me go back to that. I knew this is who he was, because remember, one of the things Fournier was known for was mixing it up around the league, because they thought he was soft. He's European. They tried to take him as a sucker, and he used to always fight back, especially with Kevin Durant. Him and Kevin Durant used to go at it all the time. So when the Knicks were bringing him in, I was like, he doesn't have the game that I'd really want to come in, but he can shoot it, and he's got a little pit bull in him. I was like, okay. But when he got here, I didn't see the pit bull. So I was like, okay, maybe this ain't the Fournier I thought he was. Maybe he's changed. Apparently, he hasn't changed. He just didn't feel comfortable with some of the, the people that are already in place on this Knick roster. Maybe that's why he hasn't really shown who he is, and he doesn't feel like it goes back to our conspiracy theorists about holding guys accountable, like Julius and other people. Maybe he just felt like, listen, I can't really say nothing here because that guy, and I mean Julius, because Julius and Fournier had a really funky relationship all year. That guy don't respect me. He don't listen to what I got to say, and you let him do whatever the hell he wants to do. So I'm not saying nothing. I'm here. I got my money. I'm playing for the team, but I'm not going to be. You're not going to get the Fournier that you deserve, as far as the vocal leader part.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but anyway, I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Just saying, it's crazy. It's crazy to watch him talking and the whole team rallying around this guy and looking to him for leadership. It's wild to me. I don't know.
I think Long Island Sound said it best. If you put up his power.
He was talking last season on the Knicks, and no one cared or listened to the slaw. Oh man!
Thank you. He pretty much summed that up.
Yeah, but so you know what?
I want to see IQ. Or I want to see Grimes.
Yeah. I'm with you, but I kind of feel like, honestly, and I know people may be like, "Yo, that's crazy," but I'm just telling you, I think that if the Knicks, this is just an opinion, I think if the Knicks had their way in a perfect world, IQ would be the starting shooting guard, Grimes would come off the bench and be the backup, and then Cam would be gone and Fournier would be gone because Fournier doesn't really fit. Because Cam is for Cam, it's the money. If Cam's contract wasn't lingering over their heads and they already had him locked up, then I think Cam would be an integral part of the team. They would figure out ways to use him going forward, not an issue. But the fact that that after this season he has to get paid, so you're in a situation where you're going to try to play him, but you're playing him to move him. I don't care what anybody says. The way this Knick front office is moving and the way if it looks like they're trying, they're going after a Donovan Mitchell and they failed, whatever. That doesn't mean that process stops. So you're trying to improve and you want to bring in star power. That means you got to allocate funds because stars are already getting paid a good amount of money. You already paid Julius. If you move him, fine. But if you're not, he's paid. You paid Mitch. You paid RJ. You paid Jalen. You just can't commit to a guy like Cam when he hasn't shown you that he hasn't shown that he's better than RJ. And for me to pay Cam, he's got to show me personally that he's better than RJ for me to give him that money.
But wouldn't you think it would be smart though? Because you see, like with him, it's a little bit different because he's younger, and it's because he's on the qualifying. Like, I think you have to play him a bit.
No, you're gonna play him. Yeah,
you got to get something for him.
I agree.
Okay, all right.
No. That part has to be done. You got to play Cam in order to see if you can get something for him. You got to showcase him. I'm just saying going forward, I don't care what anybody says. It'd be great to see Cam ball out. I do not think the Knicks have Cam in their future plans at all.
Okay.
I just don't think they see him there. He could surprise them, and if he does, that'd be great. But at current moment, I don't think they see it. Now, someone said something earlier. I forgot who it was. He mentioned something about the fact that when Cam got here, he was hurt, so Tibbs couldn't really play him. And then he mentioned that Cam's finally started to play, and then he got hurt again.
Right.
And so we really didn't get a chance to see a lot of Cam. And you can't say that basically, I think he was trying to say that Tibbs would have played him more if he was healthy, because when he did come here, he was hurt. He wasn't healthy. He had to recover. Then he had to learn the systems. So Tibbs ain't going to just throw him out there. I got what the person was trying to say. Damn it, I wish I should have started. But I got what you were trying to say, and I think that makes 100% sense. My issue with Cam, I've always said this before, is that Cam's motor disturbs me a little bit. I think he's such a good talent. He doesn't show it all the time. He doesn't have that extra oomph that you want to see from a guy of that nature, which would lead him to be one of the best players in the league. Doesn't have to be a star, but you can still be a really good player in the league. And whenever he does get it going, Cam gets hurt. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's always something. It's not him, necessarily not being a player who could do it. It's just he has to go out there and show that he can be aggressive and do it. And then whenever he gets it going, for whatever reason, he gets these nagging injuries, something pops up. That's all.
You want to laugh real quick? Put on Brick Nation's comment. And great comment, Keith, by the way. about IQ. He is a gym
The Brick Nation, salute, brother. The truth is that Fournier is probably our most talented player. That's how bad our roster truly is. Sheesh, bro. Sheesh.
Wow, that's crazy. So Evan Fournier is more talented than Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson. That's crazy, bro.
I don't know if I could agree with that one, Bricks. I don't know. I'm gonna say, well, I will tell you one thing. Young Evan was as talented as some of these guys, but this ain't young Evan. He's far from young Evan. Young Evan could break you down off the dribble a little bit. He could get to the rim and dunk on you. He could shoot from the outside. He was a more versatile, diverse player. He is not that anymore. And you know, he looks like he's scared every time he tries to take a layup. He doesn't know what he's thinking about at that moment. He gets a little flustered. So he's definitely a different player. But at one point, he might have been as talented as a lot of these guys. I don't think he still has that. I'm just saying, because you know what? I was shocked because honestly, when I was younger, when Evan came into the league and was on Denver, I didn't watch a lot of Evan Fournier. I didn't care about Denver. I'm a Knicks fan. I don't care what Denver's doing. But when I went back and saw a lot of those highlights from his Denver days and early Orlando days, Fournier was a bucket. I was kind of surprised myself personally, but he could get busy. But that was then.
Gotta love that time machine.
That was then. So we're far removed from that. Yes, Sherwin, you might be right. We'll never see it.
Skill set.
Yeah, he is.
What is supposed to be is what is supposed to be, without a doubt. Oh, more than anybody on the team, without a doubt.
Yeah. I would say that that's true. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but I agree. Paris says, "Let's Cam's pass go. You have to let the new environment win and basically turn a new leaf." I hear you. Look,
he's right.
I'm not mad if Cam comes into this, training camp and preseason and balls out, and the Knicks look at him and like, oh boy, how can we not play Cam? Cam's got to be a big part of it. Yes, good. That makes the team better. I want that. I'm just telling you, if I'm a businessman and I'm looking at the money I've already spent, and I have a plan to bring in some more talent here, better talent, which means more money, because the better you are, the more money you're going to get, right? And I know what the salary cap is, and I got to figure out how to do this. How am I going to invest, a good amount of money in Cam? And the other thing is, I know some people, like John made a good point when we were talking about it. He's like, what if the Knicks gave him somewhere in between 60 to 80 million, somewhere in between that? To me, okay, if they could figure out a way to give him that amount of money and he's okay with it, and he plays and balls out the way he's been, if balls to warrant that amount, okay, fine. And then even if you decide to make a trade, giving Cam that amount of money, you might be able to move that contract. It's not egregious. I'm okay with that. I just don't know if Cam comes into this year and he's balling out all year and he's staying healthy. I think Cam wants money. I think Cam's going to show, look, I've been telling y'all all along, I can ball. I'm one of the best players on this team. I'm probably better than most. And I just showed it to you. And you want to give me 60, 70 million? Nah, man, I want that 100,
Yep. And that's why I trade him at the trading deadline, because of stuff like that.
That's all I'm trying to get at. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, 48 likes, almost 100 in the chat. Let's support our guy, Ron. Let's support Still Knicks family. Let's get on this road to 2K, and let's get those likes up, please, guys.
Thank you, D. Appreciate that.
Another thing too. Somebody said it. Oh, Parrish, right? I was going to respond to that. No, Parrish, please.
Oh, was that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me get back to it.
Jalen Brunson. I'll say it again. Jalen Brunson. Because I understand, Brooks has said in the chat that he has to wait to see. I mean, Jalen's been fantastic throughout his career, to be honest. I mean, considering his limitations, his non-athleticism, and relying on craftiness and his strength. That guy can ball, bro. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be 22, 21, 6 and 5. That's what you're going to look at from Jalen. Now, whether I would personally much rather have that environment, Parrish, with the youth exclusively. But it'll work either way. Guys are still going to be playing better basketball because of Jalen Brunson. My concern is not them playing better basketball. My concern is wasting what Jalen Brunson brings on trying to make the playoffs. And best case scenario, you get a 6-7 seed and probably won't make it past the first round. And then continue going that route because you made the playoffs. You see, look, the administration, in the 3 years they've been here, the Knicks have been in the playoffs 2 years of those. And if the last year, if it would have gone differently because of that, it would have been 3, you know. And I think it might, if year 1 got to their head, a year 3 playoff berth would definitely get to their head. And they're doing their thing with Julius Randle. They're doing their thing with Evan Fournier and stuff of that nature. Especially if it works to a playoff berth. So Jalen Brunson, that would be the reason why I perish.
I mean, that works. I mean, I makes sense. And also, let me say this. Shout out to Cam Reddish, man, because, you know, he is working. You know, I can't take that away from him. Apparently, he's starting to really look like the Cam that people are used to. I hear, you know, they've been saying that Cam looks great. He looks the best that they've ever seen him, which I'm not saying much because the Knicks only had him for a short period of time. But as far as his time being here, he looks really good, apparently. And so they're excited to see what he can do and what he can bring. If that's the case, because look, that's the thing, guys. I don't want to build like a narrative that I'm a Cam hater. I'm not a Cam hater. I'm just looking at things differently. Maybe because I'm older. Like when I was younger, I wouldn't care about this stuff. I'd be like, oh, yo, Cam needs to play, man. What's wrong with this team? Cam got to ball out, man. If he balls out, man, I'm looking at it older now. Like it's a business. And Cam has had a history of certain things that haven't worked out right for him. And the Knicks could be a little gun shy to give this guy all types of money after a good year. Because you say, well, when has that ever happened before? Julius Randle. They gave Julius the money, and we saw what happened. And I'm not, anything can happen. You never know. That's just an isolated incident. But it can happen with Cam too, especially when you already know that Cam doesn't always show you the best of him for whatever reason. And 2, he does have an injury history. He gets hurt. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Shout out to Jay Money. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here, rocking with us. Salute. Andy in the building. I see you, Andy. Salute. Appreciate you. International Andy is his name. Man of mystery. And okay, that was it. I think I got everybody. All right, cool. So yeah.
Sherman's comment. If you can.
Hold on.
Good one. King Poppy's comment's funny too.
Hold on. Is it
Appreciate
this one?
that, Jay Money. Yeah. No.
Okay. Sherwin says, if you are a businessman, you must get the most out of your assets and dump your liability. Cam's skill set has the highest potential. We must play Cam. Yes, we must play Cam. That's an obvious thing. I don't think anyone can question that. The issue is, I don't see you saying we must keep Cam, because that's my point. We must play him. That doesn't mean we must keep him. As a businessman, you're going to say, yes, we got to get the most value for our assets, but that doesn't mean giving them the money and then squandering the money later when that asset doesn't give you the full return. That's all I'm getting to. I'm with you, though, and Cam looks good, and I hope Cam balls out. You know, I hope Cam balls out so much. This is how much I hope Cam balls out. I hope he balls out that much, because I want to see Cam side by side with RJ Barrett, getting better, going along, showing that true team camaraderie, showing the Dukies doing it on the big stage in Madison Square Garden. I want that. I'm a Duke fan. Look at this. Look. You know, this warms my heart, makes me feel good. And I really like that. Honestly, you know, the other thing about this I think is really good. And I wonder, you know, who put this together. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just always curious about that. But I like the fact that I know you in this picture doesn't show Trevor Keels is there too. You know, they're all Dukies, and they like to go practice at the Duke facility. You know, I think they just like to go out there because they're alumni and they like to feel like big stuff on campus. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, but I'm sure it's a real dope experience, and why not? But I really think Cam needs to be around RJ as much as possible, because say what you will about what RJ lacks, what he doesn't lack is, to me, work ethic. Now, during the season, this past season, probably the first time that I say maybe he got a little away from himself a little bit, and maybe Tibbs was right to call him out. And then after he called him out, RJ got back into the gym and started working again. Because sometimes you can get a little comfortable. Remember, RJ's a young kid. He's 22 now, but he's a young guy. And sometimes young people, you know, you start to coast a little bit. That makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens.
Yeah.
So, but RJ does have a strong work ethic, and he understands what needs to be done. He may not be able to do everything because he doesn't have the abilities, but he knows what should happen or what you could do. And I think him being around Cam might help Cam, you know, push himself. And I think Cam's abilities and what Cam can do on the court might help RJ. Might give him a little pointers or certain things that can improve his game, because Cam has all the physical tools and talent. So yeah, I'm just Mozilla said the Canadian motive.
It's a good one.
Hey man.
And also they were there too because the new coach for Duke, Shire, I think he wanted to bring some guys back to the program to kind of instill the culture and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just joking about that. I believe that that's the case. I heard about that, but I'm just trying to make a joke. So yeah, I mean, what is it? Rheology salute. He says RJ. Remember this.
Oh yeah. RJ 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Cam 22 points per game, boy. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Ooh.
I have the receipt.
Oh,
we'll find out.
Ooh, okay. I mean, listen, that would be great. I don't for this to happen, you know, RJ would have to be playing upwards of over 30 minutes, and so would Cam. I mean, now Cam might be able to score a little quicker and easier than RJ, so maybe he doesn't need as many minutes, but you're talking high 25 at least, 25 plus. I don't know, man, but it'd be nice. It's wishful thinking. It'd be great.
How much you willing to bet on that, right? That Cam averages 22 points a game, 6. Look, if he does that, he ain't going nowhere.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If he does something to show that he balls out like that, the Knicks can't let him go. No yes, way. I agree. I just don't know if he'll be able to do it, but if he can.
And it would have to require him to play plus 25 minutes in order to get somewhere there.
Easy. In essence, what it would show me, and it would give me the lineup that I've always wanted, which I know people don't like because it's poor spacing. Would be Brunson, RJ at the 2, Cam at the 3, Randle or Obi at the 4, and then Mitch at the 5. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't have a 3-point shooting team, but you do have a team that might be able to score. They might be able to get some aggressive buckets. So I don't know.
Parrish had a good comment.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm starred over here. All right, Parrish.
It's a little random, but he's 100% right. And just want to highlight it.
Keels will become a good jack of all trades once he's around the players in 2 years.
I agree with
you. Know what? Maybe. One of the things that still people point to is Keels is a very good
passer.
Yeah, but I mean, was it just specific to passing, or would you say playmaking? Just passing.
I think people kind of blow it up a little bit, but he showed glimpses that he can run an offense sometimes. He showed glimpses where he reads the defense very well and stuff like that. So, yeah. So listen, I mean, that is probably the reason why they brought him in because obviously the connection, you know, the Duke, Kentucky, all that stuff. Those players all looked at highly in the Knicks organization, but it's the fact that he looks like he's a guy who can play good defense going forward.
He has the right type of build and body that they're looking for in that those type of guards. He also has a good eye for passing the ball, and in time, maybe he can learn to be a decent scorer. But he's also very, he's at a good age. He's young too, very young,
Newborn puppy.
Yeah, so there's a chance that you can really kind of, bring him along. So maybe that's the case, Parrish. So we'll see. I hope you're right. But that goes to D's point that he loves to bring up. You got to have the right type of development in place and develop these players so that they can give you something like that in the future. Salute to Daniel Ponce. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Daniel Ponce says Cam needs to come into camp and take a spot. He has to be willing to do things roles players do to maximize his talent to impact winning. Correct. I agree. And that's my whole thing. This is what I'm trying to say as far as Cam's attitude. His motor may be what it is. Like, you could be one of those guys that's on and off again. Sorry. You know what I mean? I played, not saying I'm anything special, but I'm saying I played basketball with dudes who come to the gym whenever the hell they want to get there. They get there on the court, they're lollygagging around, they're talking to girls on the side. When they get in the game, they ball out. And you can't stop these dudes because they're nice, right? And then after the game, go back to lollygagging, talking big stuff like they made something of themselves. And it just is what it is. Those players exist. Those are guys like that. Cam is not that. Cam has the ability to be that, but he don't, as soon as he gets in the game, he don't just ball out. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm trying to say. I want Cam to be aggressive and just ball out. Be smart. Don't start jacking up shots from 40 feet just because you think you can hit it. Make smart decisions, but ball out. Take spots. Cam should know that he's better than 90% of this roster. Cam should come into training camp like, nope, that's my spot. That's my spot. That's my spot. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to come in with that attitude. I agree with that, Ponce. Appreciate you.
Good comment.
Let me get that.
Julian Blum in the building. What's up, Julian?
Hey, Julian, what's good? Salute. Appreciate you. Building Blocks is here. Salute, Building Blocks. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I don't want to take anything away from Cam. Good player. We hope for the best for him. And if he balls out like Rheology says, or a lot of Knicks fans are hoping, then by all means, I hope the Knicks do what they can to keep him. All I'm saying is, in the end, it comes down to a very interesting business decision. So we'll see what happens going forward. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was damn it did it again. I don't know why it does that.
What are you getting, like a pop?
No, for someone, I don't know if this thing cycles. It's got like 14 or 15 hours of battery life, but for whatever reason it shuts off. I don't know why. That's what happens when you buy stuff from places. You never know. They always throw the warranty at you. You're like, nah, man, I know what you're trying to do, but maybe they were right.
Should take it up on that one.
You got me on that one.
Rheology's comment's good. Why are you looking?
Shoot. Okay. And his dusty old relic ideologies don't let Tibbs fool y'all. Yeah.
I ain't fooled. I know who that man is. Especially you start the season 5-5, Julius Randle will be playing 40 minutes a night. Yep. And then the guard crowd will be like, OB, 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 because we haven't seen him like that. But he's played well in his 12 minutes.
I know you guys might have already seen this. Cut that sound off. Sorry. Get that back. All right. There we go. Can y'all see that?
No.
Can you see it, D?
Oh, wait. Oh. Let me go. Yeah, no. I don't see it.
Oh, all right. Hold on. I think I got to share again. Switched. I'm on the other thing. Hold on. I got it. Let me pull it back up. There we go. I'm sure you guys have seen this maybe in passing or whatever. This is just, a pickup game. Jalen doing his thing. And notice my whole point that I'm saying, and this echoes what D's talking about with Jalen Brunson. Good defense, guys. Way to let Julius run right down the court and dunk it.
I was going to give him props and said that it looks like he has pop in that jump a little bit. With the weight down.
The weight down, I think it helps with that. Let's watch that again.
Yeah.
So look, watch yourself. Oh, see? Oh, don't think I got. Oh, watch yourself back. Oh, there he goes. Bang.
Was a beast, bro.
Don't get confused by it. It's there. Is this the no? There it is. See the one-handed floater? That's it.
Seeing it. Julius bet on weak side again. That's nothing new.
Yeah. Let's see what you
play that first
here.
One too.
One-handed floater again. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's another one. Okay.
Yeah.
Good read.
Oh, J.
Who's
Cole.
that? J. Cole? Yeah, that's it.
I think I can't shoot. Who says I can't shoot?
Look at Farron Hunt on him.
Again.
To get barbecued.
Yeah.
Who's that? Farron?
No, I think Farron's wearing the gray tank top. Well, one of them. Two of them are wearing gray. Julius from outside. Can't depend on that, but I like seeing it.
No, we got it. He need that this year. Look at Jane just manipulated.
Joe Jalen's good, man.
Like that's Quickley right there. Ron. See, look at his burst right there. That's a nice little burst there. I like that. It looks a little bit faster when he elevates like laterally. I think I turned it right. I tell you, get used to that, y'all. With Jalen, I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
And he got the reins.
Yeah. So don't. I'm telling you, I think people are sleeping on Jalen a lot. That's okay. It's good. That's good. I think that's great because I want people to not have overly high expectations for his game. Just let him come in and play basketball, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised. And I think you're gonna see that he is a really good acquisition for this Knicks club, man. Because
fantastic,
he can do a lot out there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my guy Cully in the building. What's going on, Cully? Appreciate you, man. Good to see you.
Parrish says that hearing Julius at the 3 a lot. Ron, we talked about that last month as well, in saying that because if you're going to keep Obi and him, one of them got to play some ball at the 3, but then what happens to Cam with that and the whole thing? But it's something worth experimenting with, especially with certain lineups. So good point, Parrish.
Yeah, I would agree with that too, man. That's the thing. Like, you don't know what they're going to do, but Tibbs has a lot of flexibility. Because say what you will about the roster. Maybe overall, there's part of it's, as far as height-wise, we don't have the greatest interchangeability with the point guards, right? Or even in some cases, the shooting guards, right? Because it's not like you could say Grimes can definitely play the 3 without a problem. He can play the 3. We've seen him. They've used him at the 3, and he was able to guard guys. He gave Middleton some problems, and Middleton gave him a couple. But Grimes was able to guard him at certain points. So it's not like it can't happen. But it's just one of those things where you gotta you want to be able to have certain types of flexibility, and being able to put Julius at the 3 would be a great idea if it works. Obi maybe a little bit. As long as he's not, it depends. That might be more situational to the team you're playing and who they have at the 3, because you don't want him going up against a strong offensive player at the 3. He might get lit up.
Yeah.
And then also Cam's flexibility. Cam can play the 3, 2, or the 1 if you really needed him to. He won't play the 1, but he can definitely play the 3 or the 2. And in some small lineups, you might even be able to use him at the 4. You never know.
Yeah.
So first off, let me say that to me, I like this because this is a special moment. And I want to say to all you guys out there that are watching and are rocking with us, I know sometimes you get caught up, you watch, you're in the chat, and you're just going with the flow. But this, especially on Saturdays, the Know the Ledge show is open. So if you guys ever want to get on and talk and just, make your voice heard, it's fine. We would love to have you, man. So feel comfortable coming in and being able to chop it up. And as I say that, I see somebody in the waiting area that I'm about to bring up that I've never had on a panel before. And so this is fantastic. And I also like the fact that I told him that I want him to be able to elaborate a little bit more in the chat. And he said, no, you know what? Let me pop up and I'll be able to elaborate in person.
There you go.
So I'm gonna get him in here in a minute because I see he just stepped away real quick. He should probably be right back. Yeah, but that's cool. So anybody in the chat that's watching, if you feel comfortable, by all means, I'll do it again. I'll just put that in the chat once again. There's the StreamYard. You're welcome to join in. And like I said, this is an open forum. I think sometimes this is what I've heard. Okay. Sometimes I think people get so caught up, and that's a testament, I guess, to our conversation, D, and how we're talking, that they like a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. Even if, they have a differing opinion, they can just put it in the chat. But for the most part, they like how the conversation is going, and they still feel a need to jump in. But I'm saying, you guys feel it's okay.
We want to hear y'all.
Yeah, we want to hear y'all. Yeah, definitely.
Real quick, Sherwin. So Sherwin, whether he plays the 3 or the 4, I'm not saying they should do it. I just said it's something that should be worth experimenting on, and that whether he plays the 3 or 4, he's still going to find that issue, because I'm talking to his next comment too, that he's still going to find that issue with smaller guys being put on him, regardless whether he plays the 3 or 4. So
okay, that's this comment as well. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So guys, once again, a little quick disclaimer. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're at 1982 and counting. We're 18 away. So definitely, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, show your love. Hopefully you like the content. Obviously, I don't want you to do anything you don't feel comfortable doing. If you don't love the content and don't want to subscribe, by all means. But if you do like it, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button and show your love. Thank you. So let's see if we can get our guy in here. Hopefully everything's working. Francisco Carrillo in the building.
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's happening, man? How you doing?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. No, it's okay. It's fine. This is a safe space. It's okay.
Yeah, you're good, bro. Don't worry about it.
No, listen, I'm happy about this, one, because you're in. We can see you. 2, we can hear you. So that's all it is. That's the hard part. Now you just have to talk.
Okay. All right. All right. So the thing is that I've always been thinking about the way they do the draft, and like you were talking about trades and picks and a team making money and having a good team. So anyway, I wrote it down. I put down 20 teams don't make the playoffs, right?
Oh, okay. Continue. Now I know what you mean. Yeah, because we did talk about this before a little bit, but I see what you. Go ahead. Continue. Go ahead.
All right. So I put it like this, like in a short order. I put like the NBA has a draft. I mean, does the playoffs. They, for the chip. Then after that, I would do a playoff for the pick, right? The teams that don't make the playoff have a format according to the playoffs where, they got to compete for the chip. They got to earn it, right? So from the worst team to the one that just missed the playoffs, they would compete for the chip. And if you make a trade to tank, that's on you, all right? That was your choice. You're the team. You made that choice. You lost that player. Then you got whoever you got, that's who's going to play for you. So if you don't win in that playoff, you just because you suck, that don't mean you get the number one.
Right. I got you.
So then after that, you could do you could do the free agents, trades, signing trades, and then you do the draft after you know what you need. And then I think that the NBA would be making money because like right now it's a dead time. Everybody's just talking. But with something to look forward to that's going to make your team better, and you're going to make money on that. I want in on the money, bro.
Right.
So you feel the formats is all jacked up?
Excuse me?
I said you feel that the format is just all jacked up.
Yeah, it's to me, it's not fair. How you going to reward a team that tanked during the year to get a number one? You're going to reward them for doing that? How does that enhance the game for people that really don't know much about basketball, and then they see a team that's tanking. You know, is that good? So
that's a good point. I mean, yeah. Listen, I agree with you, and you know, I tried to. I guess if I really put my mind to it, I probably could come up with a way in which they could do it. I tried to do, you know, we talked about it in the past, and I tried to come up with a quick thing off the top of my head. It's a little bit of work because you got to figure out what's the best way to pull it off. I think when we did talk about it a little bit in the past, I agreed with you. So I know where you're going. And I had said that they should do something like that. They should have, you know, whatever teams don't make the playoffs, right? Like a tournament. And those teams, you know, in that situation, there's also some rules. Because I remember at one of the times I said, you know, they should have a rule that, you know, whatever players that you have that before on your team that go into that tournament have to have been on your team for at least a month prior to you starting the tournament. That way people can't go out there and try to sneak a dude in. Oh,
yeah, after the trade deadline or something.
Right. So yeah, I thought that would be a smart way to do it. So that way teams have some consistency, right? And then if you choose to tank, you realize that you can't go all out and put together a roster of bums, right? And we'll tank and then we're going to get what we want. No, you have to still remain somewhat competitive, because if not, when you play in that tournament to get a chance at getting the first pick, you got to be competitive or you won't have a chance. So you still lose out. So it doesn't make sense to tank. I think that's a great idea, Francisco. I think that's something they should really think about doing, and it would definitely change. Tanking would be done. That would be out of here. You would know that any team that really got that first pick, it would make sense. You feel more comfortable. They earned it. Exactly. And you know the good teams aren't going to do that, because they're not going to just like, let's not make the playoffs and then put ourselves in a situation. Because if you're good, you're good. You're going to win games regardless. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess you could still, there's probably some way they could still be tricky about it. Like the Lakers, a team like that might be able to lose games, not make the playoffs, and then kill the tournament to get the first pick. So it's a little funky. They still have to be away.
Well, if they want to play, go ahead.
Oh, no, just real quick, because it's right to our conversation. Put Rayology's comment real quick.
Rayology says tanking is necessary, especially for the revenue of teams in small markets where they are not free agent destinations, which I support for the balance of competition, in my opinion. Now, that is an interesting point. There is some truth to that, because certain teams in small markets, they cannot get the talent, and their teams. Yeah, it is. And their teams don't generate revenue. And that unfortunately is one of those where you cannot avoid it. And you know why? Because, and I'll use baseball as an example. The Florida Marlins cannot get fans to come to games. The Tampa Bay Rays, which are one of the best teams in baseball for how many years? Like over a decade. They always put out a good team. If you look at the attendance numbers at Tampa, it's horrible. So in certain situations, I could see that it could be a bit of a hindrance. It could be an issue. So in some cases, maybe you do it from a certain standpoint. Maybe you have to quantify it with the teams, whoever didn't make the playoffs, maybe the worst teams, right? Maybe the top 5 worst teams aren't allowed to play in the play-in.
You could put
not the play-in, that tournament, right?
You could almost put it in categories.
Right, you got to put it in categories because they still have a chance to get the first pick. Yeah. And so maybe you say, well, this little tournament is not going to be from 1 through 5. This is to determine who can get the 5th pick or something like that. And so the bad teams that did have horrible records still have a chance. Right. They still have a chance to get in the top 5 pick. Yeah. And that to me is fair. I don't know how many teams want to. I still think there's an incentive there, because some team might say, let's say 1 through 5, right? And so the teams that play in this little mini tournament have a chance to get the 6th pick. I'm sure there's still some teams that don't make the playoffs that say, listen, if we win the tournament, we could get the 6th pick in the draft. It still might be something interesting, because that at least you have an idea. You know, if my team goes in there and they play well, we're getting the 6th pick, as opposed to we lose, we don't make the playoffs, then we get lottery balls. We might get 6, we could get 13, we could get 4. You never know. It's an interesting thought.
You know, Ray is speaking to ecosystem, and the NBA ecosystem. And I guess the question I would have for you is that, is there a way that we can make the ecosystem better? Because it does seem kind of rigged to a certain degree, where you kind of want that spontaneity. You know what I mean? You want that spontaneous thing to go on, where a tournament would take place in order for it to, because you're not going to know who's going to win that going in, especially if they're the bottom 8 or was the 6 teams of each conference. So can we bring a better ecosystem to it? I think would be the question.
It shouldn't be based on tanking to get a pick.
Right?
It's not a good look.
Well,
it kills somebody who's competitive in a team sport where you're competing to win and to stop the other team from scoring on you, and then you got teams that tanking. It's like contradictory.
In football, right? Football still makes more money than the NBA, even when it's not an all year round thing like the NBA is. It's because I think they have something called the element of surprise or the element of mystery, and not knowing. It creates suspense, especially there's only one game a week. The NBA has to do a better job of creating that environment. I felt the 7-game thing is way too much, bro. People fall out. Look at the ratings. The ratings don't lie, bro. People at the start of the playoffs, they're high, and as they keep going, they start dimming off into certain teams are there that take the interest of the viewer. But they don't have that element of mystery, that surprise, that expectation that football has. They have to do better with that.
I agree. Shout out to a couple more people, and then I want to get to a comment. Salute to Neville Humphreys. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. Dripmore in the building. Salute to you. Dripmore said Tampa Bay Rays stadium sucks. That's why. You may be right about that. Tampa needs an overhaul of that stadium. That might be true. Kevin Middleton in the building. Salute. The Knicks are a large market and can't get a 2-star player. Players signed with small market teams before this sorry franchise. You may have a point there. Salute to D. Coolis in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Lewis Hedges is here. He said, I don't trust Obi. He looks good, but I don't trust his game. Can he score 25 and 10 rebounds? If he can, let's get rid of Julius. Well, I tell you one thing. If he doesn't get a chance to play 30-plus minutes the way Julius does, we're never going to see it. So, so my point that I did want to get at was, hold on, I just had it. I don't know. Was it Neville Humphreys who said it? Might have been. Here we go. Neville. He said, sorry, I don't agree. It happens in all sports. The worst team gets the number 1 pick. The NBA is already using a different format. Why change it even more? And this is why I say they need to change it even more, because I think that, obviously Philadelphia showed how to tank. They trusted the process and it worked for them. And then the NBA changed the structure once again after that, right? But is this structure foolproof? I don't think so. I think that there's still holes in which certain teams can still benefit, and it's not fair. For example, now this is before they changed it again, but with this current structure, there's nothing stopping a team like that from doing the same thing. In 2008, the Chicago Bulls finished with a record of 33-49, which was 11th in the Eastern Conference. And what did they get for their troubles? The first pick in the NBA draft, which was Derrick Rose. So that is not a really bad team getting the benefit of getting Derrick Rose, and they're changing their team forever. That's the Chicago Bulls, a middle of the pack team getting Derrick Rose. So you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like when you look at stuff like that, you can see how even in this current system, a team like the Bulls could still get the number 1 pick. Maybe not if they finish with the 11th best record, but maybe if you finish with like the 8th or something, because I know they changed the way the lottery balls play out, but it still doesn't benefit the worst teams all the way. The top 5 worst teams in the league that they're there every year are not guaranteed a top, well, they are guaranteed a top 5 pick, but they're not guaranteed the number 1 pick. You know what I mean? So I don't think you could say, like in other systems, these teams, they're horrible. They're getting the first pick. The worst team in the NFL, they're getting the number 1 pick next year. And I think if you're not going to do it that way, because you see teams have figured out a way to break the rules, then why not have a tournament that makes it fun for the teams and for the fans? I don't think anybody's ever been mad with seeing more basketball. And it does bring more money in revenue. That's true. It does bring more money in revenue. And you know what? Here's another thing, guys. This is why these conversations are great. Thank you, Francisco, for bringing this up again, because it spurs stuff. And thank you, Neville, because you saying what you say makes me think a little bit more about it. Here's another thing. Revenue, right? We talked about what that can bring. More basketball for these teams. Oh, look at that. Go. Yeah, he felt so good about it. He's out of here. All right, Francisco.
He made his point.
So that comes up in those situations. But here's the other thing. Remember, these teams are bad, right? So you're a fan of a team. Say it's tough, because I'm trying to figure out what might be the worst team now, because a lot of these teams have improved, right? I don't know. I don't know who can I use. I'm just going to throw the Orlando Magic out there, but they're not, like, all these teams have improved, so I really don't know who's going to be the worst. But say the Orlando Magic.
Might be OKC again, but
okay. Oh, thank you. OKC. Yeah, OKC works, right? So OKC, which is a team that's getting talent, but they don't really have it all together, and so they're in a place where they're probably not going to win a bunch of games. They might surprise people, but in the end, you've watched OKC all year. And you've been rocking with OKC for the past few years. And they haven't done anything, right? You're like, man, it is what it is. Like, look at these teams going into the playoffs. Watch what I know my team's not going to be in it. A chance for this other new tournament thing gives these guys a playoff type atmosphere where now you can root for your team because there's something on the line or whatever, and they can go out there and they can play in meaningful basketball. Maybe not OKC, because depending on the structure, maybe you don't want them to play. Maybe you want them to have a chance to be in a certain level of pick so they don't have to, fight for a pick. But any other team that maybe have been bad and you haven't seen them in the playoffs in a long time or play meaningful basketball is a chance for you to see your team play meaningful basketball because there's something to get out of it. It's the same premise and what they did with the All-Star game in baseball and other All-Star games where, whoever wins the All-Star game, if it's your team and your league, you guys get home field advantage in the World Series or something like that. You tie certain things to it so it means something, and guys have to play hard. That's all I'm saying. Like, there's different ways to look at it. There's something that's positive about it that you can get out of it.
Right.
So
that has to be a better way, bro.
I think so too.
Yeah,
and it's a very interesting conversation to be had, and something that I think is pretty cool. Thank you, Francisco, once again for bringing that up. And man, that's a topic that the NBA should really look into going forward. And maybe we don't have the best ideas right now. Maybe they have something that works even better. But the point is to get the dialogue going. So maybe they come up with something just to talk about it.
Yep.
We'll see.
And you got to experiment too. Like the play-in, they should have, maybe they should add a little bit more teams to have a little bit more implication in certain things of seedings in the draft or something like that. They could do that as well. There's so many ideas that they could experiment with.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's how I would look at it too. Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see.
63 likes, 86 in the chat. Come on, guys. Let's get those likes up, please.
Yeah, man. That'd be great if you guys can hit that like button. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Appreciate that. And don't forget, man, tell your friends about us. Tell Nana still Knicks fans.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Niece,
Tell them
nephew.
subscribe. Tell them subscribe, man. We appreciate the love. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Hit that button, man. Get your subscribe on. Hit that like button. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. I was trying to find one last workout video that I saw from RJ Barrett, but you know how it is when you don't star something or you don't save it where you need to save it, can't find it. But yeah, it was a video of RJ working out. And I guess it was probably the most I've seen I know he works out all summer, but it's the most they've showed of him working on basketball plays in a video. So I wanted to show it to you guys, but like I said, unfortunately, I cannot find it. So it is what it is. But the point was, he was working on his dribble crossover. He was doing a dribble step back, something we've seen him do. He definitely did it in the Miami game when he scored 46 points against, Miami. We saw it, but he was doing a lot more of it and really working on it, and it looked good. It looked free flowing, and it was something that I wanted to highlight. But like I said, I cannot find it.
It's going in history. Gotta be in history.
Well, no, it was on Twitter.
That shows up in your history.
Does it?
Yeah, like your internet history. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, man,
shout out to JO. It's Nick of Time show in the building. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? He says, appreciate you, man. Listen, guys, if I don't know who doesn't know, but if you've been under a rock and haven't checked out the Nick of Time show, definitely do so, man. It's one of the staples, man. One of the staples. He is a pioneer, one of the originators, none better. Oh, I don't quit my day job. That's why I'm not rhyming. Yeah, but yeah, man, definitely salute to JLs, man. Appreciate you, brother. Let me see here. Oh, D. So while I'm looking for this, let me ask you something.
So,
what do you think about Emmanuel Quickley? And I'm not talking about the minutes, because this is my theory, and I know that I may be alone in this. I feel like Emmanuel Quickley and Tyrese Maxey are the same player. I feel like they're the exact same player. The main difference is Maxey may be a better finisher, just the way he that's more of his game. So he's
faster.
A little more faster, right? But I think Quickley got a little deceptive speed to him too. Mm-hmm. He doesn't show it as much, but Maxey definitely is going. Mm-hmm. I think that the biggest difference between Quickley and Maxey is Maxey's aggressiveness. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they're similar players, so that the whole notion of when they said possibly getting Quickley more minutes and him becoming a starting two guard, I mean, that's Maxey right there. That's what Maxey's doing. Yeah. Why can't Quickley do something like that? What do you think about the comparison between Maxey and Quickley? Because I don't think they're as far removed as it may look like.
Yeah. I mean, I can see what people say it. Well, like similar body type, they kind of move like they have an off-floater foot thing that they do exactly the same. So
right, I
could see stuff like that. But I think Maxey's way better at reading and reacting. I've never seen Maxey dribble their basketball for 3/4 of the shot clock. Like I've had Emmanuel Quickley. I mean, like I've seen Emmanuel Quickley. So I think he's much better at really reacting. He's a lot better at reading the closeout and attacking the closeout. I think he makes quicker decisions with the basketball. So I can see what people do it, and if your hope is that him having a larger role, where did the source come from that he was having a larger role? By the way,
let me see. What I do is every time before a show, if I pull up something that I want to talk about, I leave it up in a window so I can reference it really quickly. And now, of course, I can't find it. I've got like 12 windows open, by the way, but. Yeah. Just saying.
So good.
So I'll find it though.
Yeah. So I mean, if it's true, it was the point I was getting at, then we would get a very good and also too, like, ball usage is big too. You see, like, people don't realize that Emmanuel Quickley had a very high ball usage. That's what he was. Emmanuel Quickley was 40th on the team in overall ISO efficiency. So, I mean, 40th in the league, I'm sorry, out of 63 guys. So he likes the ball in his hand. So he's kind of different in that sense. And him with the starters, with Jalen Brunson needing the ball in his hand, RJ Barrett needing the ball in his hand, Julius Randle needing the ball in his hand. Look, Mitch has got paid 15, bro. Mitch has to see a higher ball usage than 8.9, 9.2, whatever it was last year. So he's going to need the ball more. So is it ideal for a guy like Quickley to put it in like that? If you are going to do that, do you feel that Quickley would thrive just kind of like how Evan Fournier was used, right? Mm-hmm. And where he's going to run a lot of pin downs He's going to run a lot of flare screens, double staggered stuff. Sorry, that's the coach talk. But, like, you know, if am I going to see him in that, which means that he's going to be working off the move a lot more as opposed to him setting it up and running the pick and roll. Mm-hmm. Can he thrive under that?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm asking you, Ron Candy.
Oh, my fault. Sorry.
Okay. Because he played like that the first year. Second year, they changed his whole game up. Now they're going to revert back. Does it work? If they do give him a larger role, or if he's starting.
You know what? I'm going to say maybe so. Because every time I try to write Quickley off and think he can't do something, he's starting to show me he can. He does it in a different way. Maybe it's a little unconventional than what I'm used to. And then eventually he might get to something that, you know, resembles something I am used to. So I'm not going to say he can't do it. He might be able to do it. It's just all about the Knicks training and development staff working with him to understand how to orchestrate it and get it done. Because I think and this is where Knick development maybe exist, but it's different than other teams. I think they may work on certain things, but they try to bring these players along really slowly. Mm-hmm. And really they don't you know, give them too much at one time. They don't take on, like, I don't know, maybe they don't want these guys to take on more than they can chew. I don't know what it is, but I feel like, I mean, development exists in every organization, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just the way in which development is handled and carried out. And with the Knicks, I think the Knicks' current way of doing it, maybe now, I shouldn't say current, maybe it's changing, but in past, maybe it was very slow. And maybe that kind of started with bringing in guys like Mitch, because they knew Mitch was very raw. You know, Scott Perry's, Steve Mills were in play and stuff like that. Maybe it kind of became a thing where now all young talent you bring along in a slow capacity. Obi Toppin, you know, he's not a great defender, so let's work on this, but not give him too much of this. We want him to understand how we're running things here. Maybe they just got a little caught up. Maybe what they need to do is force feed these guys a little faster and give them a little bit more to play around with so they can catch up to speed quicker or learn how to. Because sometimes when you slow things up and give, you know, then you introduce something new and they don't get it right away. Oh, well, no, he doesn't got it right now. Then you move away from that. So just focus on this for now. Now that person, it's going to take even longer for them to get what you want them to get. So maybe that's the case. Maybe.
I think another important thing too is that it's very important that this is for everybody. This is for Obi, this is for RJ, this is for Quickley, this is for Grind, this is for everybody. I think it's very important this year that they play faster. Tom Thibodeau and every team he's coached, they have been not less than 20th in the league in pace. That is going to have to change this year. They have to play with pace. They have to get the ball up and down. Use the depth, use the ability of these young guys to do so, and even the starting lineup too. If you want to go ahead and rock a Brunson, what do you call that? A Grimes or Quickley, an RJ, a Randle, a Mitch. I think it's very imperative that it doesn't have to be helter skelter like that, but at least be around like 12th or 15th. And we can pace where you do have times where you do run it and also do that with your bench as well. And I think that'll kind of free everybody up a little bit. You know, one of the things that the Mike D'Antoni offense was so monumental to the NBA was that it gave the guys the ability to quickly attack the defense, right? Mm-hmm. So besides Jalen Brunson, guys on our team don't very ISO well at this point in time. So because they can't break down the defense and go ahead and take advantage of those 2-on-3s or those 3-on-4s and stuff like that, or attack the weak side, they can't do that. Then it's very imperative that you get up and down the court in order to get more opportunities and be able to play more in space. I mean, It's not rocket science. So there's no reason, if you want to have good ISO players, there's no reason why you should be playing slow.
That's a good point. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. You're right about that. So, you know, whatever. I wasn't able to find the RJ video that I was looking for. It is what it is. But the point is, there's another training video out there that shows him working on those step backs and different things, and it looked really good. He was doing it from all different angles. He's hitting the shot. Now that doesn't show how many he may have missed, but the point is, it looked clean when he was doing it. And when he got after he did the little step back, the crossover, and did his little James Harden step back, the gather was good. He looked squared up, and it was a solid shot. Yeah. So good for him. And the funny thing is, while I was doing that, I was looking at it. Shout out to Charlotte from Let's Talk Knicks on Twitter. If you guys are frequenting Twitter and you want to go into some spaces, if you're into Twitter spaces, definitely check out Let's Talk Knicks. Charlotte does a great job. She was on our show at one time. She's real knowledgeable, and it's nice to see people who love the Knicks as much as you. So check out that show. But it was funny because as I was looking for stuff, she had put up an old tweet, and I just thought, well, that didn't age well. When the whole Porzingis thing happened when he got traded, he put up a tweet and said the truth will come out. And you know what? The truth never came out. So I don't know what the hell he was talking about. I just thought that was funny when I saw that.
Right.
Anyway, but to your point that you had mentioned before, I did find the article,
Mm-hmm.
and that was by Fan Nation, brought to you by Sports Illustrated .com. And it said sources have told SNY's Ian Begley.
Okay, so this is from Ian Begley. Okay.
Yes, who has declared that there is an expectation that Quickley takes an increased role early on in 2022-2023 season.
Sounds like starting shooting guard. Because he's not going to play the point with Jalen there. And then plus, it would have to be something like that because if he backs up Jalen's playing 34 plus, I would think. And then you still got to work Grimes at the 2 and stuff like that. So he would have to be the starter.
Yeah, I think you might be right. That may be the case.
And that alludes to what you said earlier about what Quickley start to quickly and then have Grimes back him up.
Mm-hmm.
And then leave Evan Fournier melting a French croissant or something like that.
Yeah, and that can still work even with what I said because it's funky, but like you could have RJ starting at the 3, which he will. I mean, we starting regardless, and then you could have Cam backing RJ up. Now I don't know if that leaves Cam a lot of minutes. You still got to get creative in figuring out where Cam gets the minutes to stay in the game. It's easy to say he'll back because right now that's how it's going to be. It looks like Cam would back up RJ right now. So, but I don't know. Going forward, the Knicks have to get real creative with these lineups, and some might say, "Oh, go ahead."
Another thing to consider: Quickley with he has more point guard experience or more ball handling responsibility experience than Quentin Grimes, right? So people forget Jalen Brunson shot 50% from the corner last year. Okay. And he shot something like, I think, 47 or 48% on all catch and shoots. So, or 45-6, somewhere around there. So it would be advantageous to use Quickley and Brunson together because he could take away some of the ball handling responsibilities from Jalen Brunson and might be the only one that is capable of doing so as far as between him, Grimes, and Evan Fournier.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't just have Jalen on the ball. He shot 50% from the corner last year, bro. He says he's incredible. I mean, who is credible these days? Jeez.
I hear you, Jay Ellis. Yeah, man. Yeah, like essentially. Oh, and shout out to Francisco Carrillo. Listen, you did a great job, man. Thank you for coming on. It was courageous. Thank you for coming out here, putting your face out there and your voice out there. And listen, we welcome you to come back on anytime you want, man. Like I said, it's a safe space. And you know what? The funny thing is, this is a thing that I used to do when I was younger. And people do this all the time. You see something, you notice something, and it affects you, and you're like, well, I wonder how everybody else viewed that. I honestly did not hear you stutter at all. So I don't know.
Not me either.
I missed it. So, dude, that's what I'm saying. We all got to get out of our own heads. Don't worry about it. Just come on. It's fine. Get on here and say what you're going to say. And even if you did stutter, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
I didn't even notice it.
I didn't even notice it.
And look, if anything, the worst has happened, and you did fantastic, and that's that.
That's right. You did great, and we welcome you on anytime you want, brother. So that's the thing. Like, oh well, yeah. And Nick of Time, Jay Ellis said you're forgetting Derrick Rose. As far as, yeah, like I know that's the thing about the minutes distribution. How is this all going to work? And that is the reason why I was a little bit more high on the Donovan Mitchell trade. Of course, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with Donovan Mitchell as a talent. I would have liked to have him as a Knick, but I was also welcoming the trade to trade some of these pieces out of here so that it could be less to worry about. And it's not like you trading away 3 pieces, for example, and then you're stuck with, okay, we just got what we got. It is what it is. No, you were trading away 3 pieces and you brought in a guy that could score. So, it's still helping the team. But it's freeing up that log jam. So now we're kind of still stuck with this log jam, and eventually something is going to happen. I don't care at what point, but when it's open for trading, at some point somebody's getting moved, because you're going to realize the Knicks know there's no way they can play all of these guys. There's 11 guys that need to play. And if you want to say Jericho Sims is 12, then Jericho Sims is 12. Then you got 12 guys that need to play in a 9-man rotation.
Yeah. So JL he had an itchy trigger finger because he didn't hear. That was with the person starting. It's between Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, and Emmanuel Quickley. If we're taking this report as legitimate, you see. So Derrick Rose is not in that equation. We know Derrick Rose could set up Jalen Brunson, and we know that they could play together. But that was the parameters of the topic. So. Sorry, just wanted to clear that up.
Shot Powers, salute. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. DSJ is in the building. What's good? Appreciate you, man. And another thing is, guys, once again, showing Shot Powers a little love, man. If you guys haven't tuned in to, Divine Show with Shot Powers, Real Talk, Knicks Real Talk, please do, man. Check him out. Another very good show, talking Knicks, man. These guys are consistently putting out content, and I want more and more eyes to go and tune in to these channels, because the situation is one of those where I feel like when you got Knick content creators that are in other places, you know what I mean, that are trying to get the Knick word out there, they love their team, but they're just not here in New York. They need to get the same level of love, eyes, and respect on them as everybody else, because they're putting out good content. Like Divine and Shot Powers over there and KJW, they put out great stuff. Divine's out there in Carolina, I believe. And I look at that and I'm like, just the same thing with the Guard Up Knicks podcast, who we had on Still Knick Fans not too long ago. Like, they're in Carolina as well, or Jersey, Carolina, but for the most part, it's, and like, they need to be shown the same amount of love as everybody else, man. Go check out these content creators, man. They're putting out great stuff, man. That's all I can say. I just want everybody to be able to receive the same flowers and the same eyes, man. They do great work over there. So salute to you guys. There was C. Cartagina's in the building. What's good? Appreciate you, man. I'm running behind the chat. What if Westbrook is a contingency for giving some of the kids time to develop for the kids that remain? That is a possibility. It's a strong possibility. You have to consider that they may be trying to do that. Yeah. The Nick of Time show, JL says, I got you. Okay. Yeah. I hear you, bro. Let me see. Did I get everybody? Yeah, I got everybody. Yeah, cool. All right. Oh, wait. Hold on. There's a question here from Shop Powers. He said, what do you guys think about Brunson, RJ, Randle, Obi, Mitch, second unit, IQ, Grimes, Evan, Reddish, Isaiah? So that's Brunson, RJ, Randle, Obi. Oh, RJ at Randle at 3.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
If one of those two could do it, if Obi or Randle could play the 3 at someone at 15, 20 minutes a night, absolutely, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great, man. I would love to see that. I don't know if it's sustained, like if there's sustainability there. I would definitely love for Thibodeau and the Knicks to try it. Especially, maybe it's something you don't like. Look, there's other teams that are very successful in this league that go small ball at certain times, or they may go the adverse way, but that doesn't happen as much. But it depends on the personnel that you're up against. So if the Knicks can do that, you know, if the Knicks can do that, then maybe, you know, that's something that you know, we could see as a welcome change for them. Maybe they could really, you know, change things up a little bit. And salute to King Ribby. I see you. Appreciate you, man. I don't know if I said your name before, man, but definitely appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Ron Cleveland, man. I see you, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for being here and tuning into the show. As always, a pleasure. And I love that first name, man. That Ron thing. I don't know, something about it. Really digging that.
It's such a biased perspective.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. Man.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? These balling boys. Been a minute, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, Ron. Congratulations, boy. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, bro.
Y'all know I've been MIA for a while. You know, but rest assured, I've been paying attention. I've been looking. You know what I mean? What's going on with this team, man? And shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the chat, the whole Knicks family, man. That question you asked about too many cooks in the kitchen, I'm going to tell you like my daddy told me a long time ago. It can't be two men in one house. So in my opinion, you got that many men in one house, everybody got their voice and everybody want to be heard and everybody want to do things their way. You can't, that's no way to run no business. You got to give people defined roles, man. You know, if a person going to be an advisor, that's what you're going to be. If an advisor shouldn't be running no kind of negotiation, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Jerry Russell. If your title is advisor, your voice should not be higher than a person that's the president or the vice president, period.
Listen, I mean, that is the case. In most situations, you don't want to, like, it's like one of those things, you know, if you feel comfortable with the front office and feel comfortable that you have the right people in place, then I definitely think that you're hitting the nail on the head, Ron. The only thing that I'm thinking is that maybe the Knicks feel like they decided to take a chance and do something that it's not controversial, because when you see more and more teams doing it, Sacramento's done it, Golden State has done it successfully, where and the Lakers have done it too, because Mitch Kupchak was an agent, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So not that many teams do it, but it has worked for certain teams and they're successful at it. So I guess the Knicks are trying to make sure that Leon doesn't fall flat on his face out the gate. Now, is this year 3 of Leon?
Yes.
Yeah. This is year 3 of Leon. So at some point, you got to say Leon needs to be able to grasp and understand the full role of his job. And so maybe at this point, maybe you're saying, okay, he should know what's going on. You don't need all these cooks. And I'm assuming that at some point, either somebody's role is going to expand, or maybe somebody's going to move on, because you got 2 consultants in essence. Scott Perry, I think, is a consultant as well.
Yeah.
And Gerson, I mean, unless I don't remember his role. I think
Perry's like GM, like assistant GM or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
Okay, so Leon's president of basketball operations. Perry's assistant GM. So what was Worldwide West's title?
He's the assistant executive. Yeah, he's the assistant executive of basketball operations.
Yeah, he's right behind Leon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and to me that's wrong too. If there was something that would really point that in the hierarchy of how everything's moving, is that Scott Perry should be Leon's right-hand man.
Absolutely agree.
I don't know what Worldwide West is in that.
100%.
He's the executive assistant.
Supposed to be. Hey, didn't they say he was the relationship guy? You know what I mean? Worldwide Mess.
Right.
Supposed to be the relationship guy. So what you got Rojas there for?
Consulting.
There you go.
Somebody's head gonna fall. Somebody's head gonna fall on that guillotine.
Right.
Somebody's gonna be gone. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna
Cleveland, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Is Leon Rose the guy? Is he the guy that's going to lead the troops into battle and become victorious? Which is, of course, championship contending, of course.
Why you did that to me, D's? I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I don't think so. I can't go against what my gut and what my eyes telling me. I don't think so, because at some point, man, you can't be afraid all the time to make moves. Mm-hmm. You know, true indeed. And I'm gonna address this because I really wanted to say something about that Donovan Mitchell thing. This is the one time with Leon that I'm 150%, 200% in agreement with him on. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the move to make. And I'll say this why. Anytime you make a move like that for what them guys was trying to get out of New York, in my opinion, it got to be a top 3 guy in the league. Period. Mm-hmm. Period. Donovan Mitchell, good player, but I don't believe he's a top 3 at his position in this league. So I'm not giving you all that. And then when I think about the situation, fellas, I don't truly believe Danny Ainge had any intentions of trading with the New York Knicks, and I felt like that. At the end of the day, yeah, he might be working for Utah, but let's not get it twisted. That man is Boston to the core, and he can say what he want to say, but I won't do that for the sake of, man, stop that. We all know everything in life is about relationships, man. If it wasn't for Boston, this man would have never even been in the league. Period. That guy started in Boston, was drafted, played for Boston. So I don't buy that. And then you think about all of these, all those deals that came across. All those deals that was mentioned that was being thrown out was better than what they got from Cleveland. So why didn't you make the trade? Smart move. You tie the Knicks' hands up, fooling up with you for 2 months, while everybody else plucking players away, and we get close to training camp. Guess what? Now it's too late to really do anything. And I'm gonna tell you another reason why I agree with Leon about that deal, because at some point, and I thought about this, fellas, the Knicks got to get to a position where we start drafting for need instead of wants. Donovan Mitchell was a want. The need, in my opinion, is that small forward position. That is the position, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm not comfortable with Cam Reddish.
So RJ's not the guy at the 3?
No. I don't like RJ playing the 3.
So then you put him at the 2, right? But what about Quentin Grimes?
See, that's the problem. You got a dilemma. That's why I say you got to start doing stuff for need instead of want. And I'm gonna tell you like this: if they can't figure it out this year for that 3 spot, what they need to do, they need to go to Boston and go get Jaylen Brown. Period. Get him. That guy's a 2-way player. And I don't care what nobody say. They may love Tatum. And I even talked to my barber, who's a diehard Boston fan, been forever. And I told him this. I said, man, Jason Tatum is not that dude on that team. It's Jaylen Brown. You take Jaylen Brown off that team, y'all in trouble. I said, that's the dude I want. And he said, oh, yeah. He said, I've been telling people that. You know what I mean? People get enamored with a name, but Jaylen Brown is that dude. That dude is a bona fide 2-way player, and he outplayed Tatum in the whole playoffs.
Especially the finals.
Especially in the finals. But nobody want to talk about that. Boy averaged 25 points a game on top of the defense he was playing. So that's what the Knicks need. They need a stud like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Stop going after wants and just get a need. We need a need, man, because if Cam go down, hey, how many true small forwards we got on this team, D's?
Cam Reddish.
Thank you. Thank you. It ain't hard to tell.
And he ain't playing that much.
Exactly. So I wanted to really get that off my chest, man, because I had talked to Soulfinger a few days ago, man, a while back. But I've been out of the net, man. A lot been going on with your boy, man. Just lost my nephew about a month ago, man, in South Korea in the military, man. Tragic, 23 years old in the military, man, riding in a car, got ejected, you know what I mean? We just laid him to rest yesterday. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, the Knicks ain't far off, and I'm gonna tell you what, one thing I do give Leon credit for, you finally went and got a point guard. We got a point guard. Everybody know I might have not been crazy about it. But when you identify the man you want, you go get him. That's the only thing he's done since he's been in my book. I think he's been playing safe. I think he's really been playing safe the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong with that, man. And once again, thank you for being here, Mr. Ron Cleveland, man in the building. Shout out to you, and definitely, condolences and everything to your family and yourself. Sorry for the loss. It's a tough time. Real life is real life, man. That can't go away, man. So prayers and blessings to you and yours, man. Hope everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Appreciate it. Hey, D's balling. Keep that work coming, boy. I got my eyes on you.
You know. Hey, you already know the vibes.
Hey,
bro.
I do. Hey, Ron. Hey, y'all keep doing it, man. New York Knicks. Don't let this media tell y'all, old school media tell y'all that the Knicks are in trouble. Far from it. We got power. We got the money. You know what I mean? You got draft picks. Draft picks are bigger than anything else that the Knicks could have. You know what I mean? We are in a position where everybody who want to do business in this league got to come talk to us. We wanted a few. You know what I mean? So hey, y'all keep your head up, man. Like I said, man, the Knicks is in a better place. I'm happy about the direction of this team, but I think ultimately Leon's head is gonna fall on the guillotine, man. Y'all have a good one, and I'm out.
Okay, Ron.
All right, Ron, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, man. Ron Cleveland, man. You know, once again, condolences and everything to him and his family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, this is a situation we dealing with, man. The Knicks, and I like the fact that, thank you, Ron, for coming on and bringing it up, because that puts you to the point where we've been talking about. Like, that is the real issue here. You see, when we break it down and you talk about, well, what happens? Who do we have at the small forward? RJ is playing the small forward. Most of us, I mean, not everybody. There's probably some people that don't really notice, but a lot of us notice that RJ is not the best small forward on this team, or he shouldn't be necessarily the small forward. He plays better at the two. I think there's numbers that show that and prove that. I think you could
sophomore season.
Right. And I think you could also see his comfortability just looking at how RJ plays, how he looks out there. Looks more comfortable at the two, my opinion. And I think D feels the same way. There's other people that feel the same way. So then when you look at the small forward, who's the best small forward on the team? Cam Reddish, right? Cam is a guy we don't even know if the Knicks are going to keep. So then what do you have a small forward, right? Yet you talk about this guy, quickly getting more minutes. Where does Derrick Rose go, right? Then you talk about, Fournier still here. What does he do? Then Quentin Grimes, you want to expand his role. How does he get the, like, you see, this is what I'm talking about with the logjam. It's wild. It's wild.
And that's why, like, people that jump it out the window for the front office, it's like, yo, there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered. And the one thing they have not been able to do since they got here is construct a proper roster. They haven't done it yet. And right now, with all these challenges and questions that you're bringing up about, you just said it. What happens with Rose? What happens with Evan? What happens with OB and Julius? And what happens with Cam Reddish? Is RJ 3? Why are guys playing out of positions which they played their whole lives? I understand Emmanuel Quickley played point guard in high school. I understand. But under John Calipari, he never played point guard. RJ Barrett had better at the two forever. He comes off his best season, and they're like, congratulations, RJ, go to the 3 now. And they would, the Kawhis, Paul Georges, Durant's of the world, and see how you fare up, kid.
Very true.
It's not right. And Ron, you're a manager at what you do. I've been a manager. I've read my own basketball stuff, AAU stuff. You got to put people in positions that their strengths already, and they have to master that. If you're a manager at McDonald's and you see that a person is better at the cash register than the drive-through, I'm going to make sure I maximize them at that cash register, so then I could get him at some point to the drive-through. I'm not just going to throw him to the lines at the drive-through. He's better at the cash register. It's simple stuff like that. And there's things that have not been figured out yet to that degree that will be answered this year without a doubt.
Very true. Shout out to D. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Also, shout out to Jet Life for Life in the building. Appreciate you. Good to see you guys. Yeah, so I mean that pretty much kind of covers the show for today. About to wrap up here. But I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for rocking. Once again, we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. It's we 18 away, and we hope to get there very soon. Hopefully by the end of the month. And if we do get there by the end of the month, we are probably going to be doing a giveaway of some sort.
Nice.
So stay tuned. And
you definitely get there before the end of the month, before the 30th.
Yeah. I'm hoping so. But it's like a home run chase in Major League Baseball. See what I did there, guys? As soon as you get close, the pressure starts to hit. So there might be one guy out there that's watching right now saying, "Oh, should I subscribe? I don't know. I don't want to be number 2,000.
Just do it."
Yeah, man, just do it. Exactly. Let me see here. What was this? Andy N said, interesting ideas and ideology you guys have. Putting an inefficient scorer at the shooting guard position, I'd go a different way, but I respect your ideas. And I agree with you for it is an idea, and I'm glad that you respect it and the ideology behind it. But I would say that sometimes, now, mind you, the biggest issue that I find with this Knicks roster is that you got a lot of players that may not be great at shooting from the perimeter, but they can score. However, the only thing you're worried about is floor spacing. If the Knicks can somehow figure out a way to create the right amount of space so that everybody has driving lanes to the basket and people aren't stepping all over each other, then it doesn't really matter too much if you don't have guys that can shoot great from the perimeter, as long as you can score effectively. If you got guys that can get buckets, that can get to the rim or have a good mid-range games. See, this is the problem with today's NBA. Yesterday's NBA, it wasn't about shooting threes. It developed over time. But those guys stretched the floor. But there was other guys who just knew how to get to the basket. And if they didn't get to the basket, they hit you with a little mid-range jumper or whatever, sometimes an occasional three. And that's how basketball was played. We have evolved. I get it. But my point is, as long as you got the right people, smart IQ guys, and understanding how to space the floor to give people the lanes to move around, you don't have an issue. The problem with the Knicks is you don't know if you have enough smart, high IQ guys on the team that can play basketball the right way. And, another thing, D, you also do have two players that play the same way and get into the same lanes. And that's RJ and Julius. That's why I kind of feel like one of them can't be here, because they do the same type of things. They need to move in the same areas. When you got two guys that are both driving the basketball into the paint or looking to be around that area, you're clogging the lane. So that's why I think they got to move on from Julius.
Here's another thing. Andy's coach. That's what I've heard. So you will agree with me as a coach. If you got a player and he's young and he has his best season of his career, his second year at that position, would you move the player off the position knowing that he's still developing and still at, what was he, 2021 at that time? Would you do something like that? Because I've been taught from the minds that I've been taught by here, that's like a no-no, bro. You never do something like that. If I got a third-round pick that has a stellar second season and is efficient at 18 points a game, 46% for the field, 40% from three, career highs and rebounds and assists, right? And you made the playoffs, I'm asking you, as a coach, would you move that player to a different position, knowing that he just had his best season at the two position, which he has always played since Monteverdi?
That's a good question, and it makes you think, like, why would you do that? I mean, of course, this is the problem with young players. When they're really young, you think you can explore and experiment with roles because they're so young. Oh, well, he has a lot of time. He can adapt. He can do this. And sometimes it's to the detriment of the player. And in RJ's case, I think it is to the detriment of him, because on the defensive end, D's gone over this on his show and the numbers and stuff. He is not that efficient on the defensive end guarding small forwards. And on the offensive end, I say this all the time, but people kind of like dismiss it. I think RJ is, well, even though he's able to get to the rim and he breaks down his defender, he doesn't finish all the time, but that's on him. He did a much better job at being more efficient when he was playing the 2. He was going up against smaller guys. He had a little bigger body in comparison to a lot of these 2 guards. It's a little different. I just think that it just plays to his strengths more. That's just my opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think the eye test will tell you that that makes sense. That's it. Now, the other thing I was going to say is, to Andy's point, when he says space is created by shot makers, if everyone just can score, it's going to be hero ball all the way. You do have a chance of that being the case. But didn't we see a lot of hero ball last year? Even having guys like Fournier, who shot the most 3-point shots, made the most 3 points in the second half of the season in the NBA, and we still had hero ball moments from RJ and from Randle. It's about your style of play and as a coach, how you orchestrate it out there. If the one thing that I think that the Knicks could do a better job at is, if you do have an issue with spacing and you don't have a lot of guys who can knock it down from the perimeter consistently, work on your efficiency as far as getting better looks and better shots, and do better passing. Ball movement is also key to getting. You could also create spacing and create good lanes by moving the ball efficiently and effectively and coming up with nice plays, other than just the pick and roll, the Spanish pick and roll, nice backdoor cuts, and different things of that nature. There's certain things you can do. I mean, I used to watch. I thought it was fun to watch, and in some cases a little boring. If you guys watch college basketball over the past 10 years or so, probably earlier in that time, Princeton was a team. They did the freaking, what is that, the weave or whatever, that ball movement thing they used to always do. The ball touched like 5 or 6 people all the time. They're just moving it around. It was like, it was like Hopsy Daisy or whatever that game they used to call back in the day. But after they're moving the ball a little bit, they always had somebody that would leak out to the basket. And so the defense is playing around, trying to figure out who's got the ball, who's it going to next. And they would have that guy that leaks out and he get an easy basket under the hoop. It's a little boring way of basketball. I'm not saying the Knicks got to do that, but I'm just telling you, ball movement opens up things and creates lanes and opportunities for easy scoring. And the Knicks can do that if they had better ball movement. It goes to what D said earlier, as far as the Knicks need to be playing with a higher pace. We are one of the last teams in pace in the NBA. And that's a part of Thibodeau's system. I've said it before. I don't know for certain, but I believe one of the reasons why Thibodeau doesn't like to push the pace is because he likes to have his guys on the defensive end in certain sets. And by pushing the pace, it puts them out of position. So he can't orchestrate the defense the way he wants. I think Tibbs needs to compromise. If I'm right about that, I think Tibbs needs to compromise and figure out different ways to circumvent that on the defensive end so that he can push more pace on the offensive end so the team is better in general. I know that was a mouthful, but hopefully you guys got it.
That was good.
So yeah, man, that's what I think. And okay, so Andy says, so we agree, D. Okay, well, I mean,
not entirely, but I was just relating to him that his contention wasn't my contention.
Got it. All right. So, I mean, listen, man, this is going to be a topic of discussion that we are going to talk about on multiple different occasions, especially going forward, because we don't know what Thibodeau's style of play is going to be yet. And if Julius starts playing at the 3, well, look out, because there's going to be several questions about what's happening and what they're doing and how it's all working. So I don't know, man. We got to see how it plays out. But I do think that this is something they're going to have to get used to, because we got to figure out ways to play Cam Reddish more. We got to figure out ways to get Grimes more incorporated, and and Quickley too. So there are going to be some lineups out there that maybe at some point you don't have the best perimeter shooters or on the field, and the spacing is going to be an issue. You're going to have to figure out how to field on the court, and you're going to have to figure out a way to make this work. That's it. That's how it is.
And a big thing that has to be looked at with the starting lineup this year, the RJ Randle thing, that stuff we're going to have to find out. But there's one thing that I do know that has to be addressed come opening game that was not addressed last year. You cannot have a non-defensive backcourt in this league, in any universe. You just can't do it, bro. It's not going to work. An important part of containing offenses, especially high explosive ones, is to be able to contain the basketball on the point of attack. Okay, that's why when Quickley went in there and stuff like that, it looked different. The defensive numbers looked better because Quickley was able to guard 94 feet. And he was able to guard the ball handler right off the inbound. Same thing with Deuce McBride. Whenever he played in short minutes, he would guard 94 feet. It's harder for teams to get into their offense, and it's also harder for teams to go ahead and attack the defense, the teeth of it, the middle of it, the baselines of the defense, right? If you're able to contain the basketball 94 feet. So if you have a non-defensive backcourt, you're going to have that issue again.
Right. Well, that's a good point. And shout out to Anton Cates. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Kerry Cox in the building. Salute, brother. I don't know if I said that already. I feel like I did, but I probably didn't. Sam Grandison in the building. Salute, bro. Good to see you. As always, -2 Trill is here. Jumping in. We're about to jump off, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have some time, you want to watch the recap, or if you're doing something and you want to just play the recap and recap the show in the background while you're doing something, by all means, man, hit that recap, that refresh button and watch the show from the beginning. This was another good show. Jay Ellis says from the Nick of Time show, don't think you can survive in the NBA with 2 non-shooters in a lineup. In today's NBA, it's a lot tougher unless you are, and that's the problem. We're talking about Tom Thibodeau here. Now, if this was Mike D'Antoni, maybe he would have great offensive systems, figure out a way to make it work. But this is Tom Thibodeau. So I hear it. I got it. We're in that situation. We're in a tough spot right now. So to make it work, I don't know how they're going to do it. But I definitely do think that Tom Thibodeau needs to figure out, like, no matter what anybody says, guys, I think you guys all can agree. Tom Thibodeau needs to figure out a way to expand this Knick offense or come up with some creativity in it, because it's too vanilla. The Spanish pick and roll and all that stuff, that's great. They're good systems. People running around the league, and maybe the Knicks do a good job at it. But that's one thing. And all the teams do so many other different things to cultivate, their team and promote, good offensive principles, and that impacts winning. And that's what the Knicks are lacking. Defense, Thibodeau, you got your systems, they're in place. And like I said, if pace is an issue and it affects his defense, he's got to figure out some type of compromise in order to kind of, forget the let's not bring back Reggie Bullock and Elfrid Payton and bring in some more offense. Let's actually make some changes to how we play, so that way it doesn't necessarily depend on certain, players. The system is a little better. It's more conducive to us having a better chance to win basketball games. And then you teach guys how to fit into that. But be a little bit more open-ended with how you're creating these systems, so it makes it easier for these guys. I don't know. I don't think I'm saying anything that's too crazy.
It's a heavy dose of optimistic juice, though.
Oh, you know me. Optimistic juice with a little spritz of lime.
I know you're drunk on that stuff. I already know, but
let's go.
But to ask a 65-year-old man to go ahead and revamp and retool his offensive ideologies, I think that's a lot to ask. What I'm thinking is that Tom is going to rely, like he does. He relies and he acquiesces to his stars. He's going to rely on Jalen Brunson being able to help him adjust throughout games. And if wrinkles do come in, it would be at the expense of Jalen Brunson and what he brings and what he sees and what he communicates. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to leave it up to Tom Thibodeau, you're going to see the same offense that you've seen for ever since Minnesota. He did it in Chicago too, but it started getting worse as time went on. So.
Right. Yeah. And shout out to A-Train. I see you. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, we're about to wrap up, but definitely you're welcome to watch the recap of the show. Hit that rewind button and watch the thing from the beginning. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the topics and discussion we had. Today was another good show. Shout out to Francisco Carrillo. Thank you so much for getting that courage. And I ask all of you guys in the chat, man, feel free to jump on, man. We don't bite. We actually encourage your points and your takes, and we will not make you feel like you're uncomfortable up here, if you want to get on and say what you want to say, by all means,
Absolutely.
anytime, you're all welcome. Rome Fall Rock in the building. What's good? Salute to you. And also thank you to Mr. Ron Cleveland, man, for jumping in. Salute to him once again. Condolences to him and his family. He had mentioned on the show that they just recently lost his nephew, who's in the military, and unfortunately it was a military related casualty. So very sorry to hear that. Once again, condolences to you and your family. Absolutely. And thank you for being here and rocking with us in this tough time. So
yeah. And also for the chat too that just heard it, make sure you give out your prayers and condolences to the Ron family.
Right. Agreed. And last but not least, thank you to my guy D from D's World of Hoops. If you guys haven't already checked out D's World of Hoops, please do check out his channel. There's very good content, entertaining stuff there too. And D sometimes, he puts together some videos to make you laugh while getting his point across. He thinks he's slick. I know what he's doing. Yeah, I know. He's like a third grade teacher. Okay, kids, look at this. Look at Superman. Look what he's got in his hand. The number 1 and the number 2. What does that equal? I see what you're doing, D.
Yep, you're on to me, Ryan. God damn it, I gotta change my tactics now.
Hey, you can't put it over on this guy. Shout out to Jeffrey Clafter in the building. Jeffrey, I don't know if this is my first time seeing you here. I think it is, but if I'm wrong, or maybe this is your first time in the chat, thank you for being here. Appreciate you, and welcome to the Still Knick Fans
welcome,
family.
Sir.
Let me do this before I get out of here. Just check and see if there's any update. Nope, no update, guys. We're still at 1982. It's a fine year for brisket, wine, or whatever. But we'd like to see that number go up a little bit.
Nah, you will, man. That'll come in no time, bro.
Yankees. This is the only bad thing. So what's up, Heck? Appreciate you, man. This is the only bad thing about starting a show at 11 o'clock and then it gets to 2 o'clock and you're like, damn, now I'm tired. It's time to do something else. But there's so many other people that are starting to come in and you feel bad. Like, let me give you more. But yeah, I got to get up out of here. So there was some, Cully said, Ron, how's John? Ain't seen him in a while. Yeah, no, he's good, bro. But it's like on the weekends, the Know the Lead show is kind of my baby because I have a little bit more free time on my hands, especially on Saturday mornings. And John, he's got 4 young kids, 2 twins at that, 2 1-year-olds. So he's got a lot to handle and he's doing it, so that's what it is. The weekend is family time for him. And he also plays softball. So he's out there doing stuff. So if you haven't seen John in a while, just tune into the Monday night show on Still Knick Fans. Monday night at 9 p.m. SKF Weekly. That's when you'll see John and myself and Jose holding us down on the 1s and 2s in the background. And then also on Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Nothing But Knicks Network, the NBA report. So yeah, man, that's where you'll find him mostly. But thanks for asking, man. I'll definitely make sure he knows that you said what's up. Oh, and guys, I know at this point it's too late. I think there may be 1 ticket available if anybody's interested. But if anybody is interested, I think there's 1 ticket available to go to opening night to see the Knicks play the Detroit Pistons with the NBK crew. I think it's about 50 of us now. I will be in the building once again, and this time John will be in the building as well. So we'll both be there. Nice. And all the usual suspects, the Queen, Tony Crow, Sim, Uncle Fulio will be in the building. There's going to be a bunch of people in there. So, definitely if you can go to Nothing But Knicks and hit on that click on that button. There might be 1 ticket left if you want to go, by all means. So I put that out. I'm a disclaimer, dude. I'm doing everything today.
Gotta do
it. Andy N said John needs to shop at Costco on the weekends. Bulk candy. I hear you. Yeah, he might need that, man. 4 kids. I don't even know. I got 1, and he's a pain in my butt. No, I'm just joking. Love you.
Love you,
kid. Yeah, man. So thank you guys, and once again, thanks D for being here with me. D, any final words?
Yeah. As always, I always give Jules and always give gratitude and appreciation to the chat. Without you guys, we're not here. And we definitely appreciate you. We value you. And we always want you to be involved 24/7, 365. Second, Sundays at 12. I got a work schedule. It's kind of jaked up right now. I'm trying to figure it out. But when the season comes, and probably starting training camp, it's definitely going to be Sundays at 12. Up until then, I'll get on until when something juicy comes about. Not too sure when that will be, but as soon as it comes, I'll definitely make time for it. But when the season comes, we'll definitely be more organized. Definitely want to hear from you guys during games. I want to hear your analysis, your perspectives, what you thought of players, directions we should be going when the season starts. Definitely going to have you guys all involved with that. If you guys don't know, you can go and subscribe to D's World of Hoops and just go ahead and subscribe, like, and just support and I dedicate to you guys being involved and stuff like that. And I don't know, good show, Ron. You know, you brought up some good topics. You know, stuff that has to be talked about. Stuff. Shout out to Francisco too to bring in his idea as well. We definitely want more of that from you guys as well. And I'm good. Thank you, Ron.
No problem, man. Thank you for being here as always, man. Appreciate you. Once again, guys, thank you for rocking with us. Oh, and Yankees Morning Brew, Heck Project Nerd in the building. If I haven't mentioned it multiple times in the past, definitely check out his show Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. He's talking Yankees as well as other, you know, baseball related stuff. Hey, he might throw in some other things in there. He might show you some special guests. Not too long ago, he had my guy Turtle on there from. I'm drawing a blank. Entourage. Whew.
Yeah.
And he also played Proctor, the attorney on the show Power.
Yeah.
And speaking of the show Power, guys, listen, if you want to support, and I definitely think you should, that's not about me, but definitely support a really good show if you're into like TV, you know, and platforms on YouTube that review TV shows. The Spot Real Talk. It's made up of 3 different people. We got Ron, who has my namesake. You know, I call us Ron Squared whenever I jump on with them. You got Ron, Tiara, and Tiffany. They both hold down the show. They review different TV programs, Snowfall, Power.
You gotta send me that link, man.
I just put it in the chat right now,
nice.
man.
Okay.
So check them out. This is the show, and I'll pin it real quick just so while I'm here. If you can see that, you know, what they do is they review these shows all the time, right? And then at some points throughout the seasons, they'll have what they call a round table. And those round tables, what they do is they try to get a guest character or actor from one of the shows to come on, and we'll talk to them and be able to interview them. And so I've been on this show about 5 times. Fortunately, they keep asking me back. I don't know why. They know me, so I don't know why they keep asking me to come back. But
it must be your rash and good looks.
That must be it. Yeah. So yeah, they asked me to come back, and I have a great time chopping it up with them. And we just recently were talking about Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, and on this show, it was the actor Omar who plays Cartier on the show. So if you're into that stuff, his name is Omar Dorsey. He's been on shows like Ray Donovan. He's also been on Queen Sugar. He was in Drumline. He had that infamous little catchphrase, shaking that ass. Anyway, okay. All right, you get it. All right, I'm sorry. You too. But anyway, he's been in a bunch of stuff, and you also might know him from comedic stuff when he was younger. So yeah, so check that out. Support them. Good people, good show. That's all I got, man. As I always say, thank you for being here. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again. And salute to everybody, man. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday. This has been fantastic. I had another great time. D, as always, bro. Appreciate you, my man.
We got this.
Thank you. All right, we're out of here.
Later, guys. I had to tease you for a second.